Welcome in to another edition of Fansided Livestream. I'm Jasmyn Wimbish. This is Josh David Hill. Josh David Wilson. What's up, guys?
Right.
Not much. Pretty excited for
Let's do it.
what should be a drama-filled game.
Rockets Warriors.
Pretty late for us here in
The
Chicago.
revenge.
Yeah. So we've had an earlier game already. We've got Milwaukee taking on Boston. Milwaukee beat the brakes off of the Celtics. Ties it up at 1 game apiece, heading back to Boston. Are we pretty excited about that series? Shocked that game went the way it did? What are we feeling?
I mean, I thought that they would come back and probably win that one, make some adjustments to. I mean, they are the 1 seed after all.
True.
I think they'll win that series, but I do think it'll be a good one. I'm intrigued by it still.
Yeah. How many games do you think? 5, 6? Like, is Boston going to win another game?
6, probably.
Yeah,
I
I'm thinking
can see
Bucks
it
in
going 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7 though.
I hope it goes
Yeah.
7, just like it did last year. That was a hell of a series we got last year.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of exciting if we get another 7
And
game.
I mean, Al Horford can stop really important players. So
As we've mentioned several times, me on this stream and Josh Wilson has said to me on Slack now, what is it? Al Horford is the most important player on the Boston Celtics.
yes, well, maybe the most important defensive player in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, he's neutralized. Throughout the regular season, as seasons pass, he's neutralized Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Now he has a task of guarding Giannis, which he did a pretty good job on in the first game. But
That's one of the interesting things about Joel Embiid that I was thinking, like, he doesn't do too well against Marc Gasol either.
no, yeah,
Like,
you're right.
against pretty good players, he kind of falters a little bit. And he's still pretty strong on the defensive end, even in the games that he doesn't put up, 30-something points. But if he goes up against a really good center, he seems to struggle quite a bit on the offensive end compared to
Which-
usual.
Probably should be a little concerning for Philadelphia going forward, but we'll see where that ends up. But we've got Houston Warriors tonight for us,
Yes.
9:30 p.m. It's very late here. I'm already tired.
Very late. But I'm excited.
Game 1 of that series.
Drama.
Thoughts, opinions, reactions. Was it a foul?
I mean, yeah, technically, but
Technically, but the league did come out and say that it wasn't a foul today.
I thought that was weird because I thought it was.
Yeah. It looked like a foul.
It looked like a foul to me, but then again,
It looked like a foul to a lot of people.
I'm not one to give Houston every damn foul that they so choose because
Neither is the NBA because they gave Scott Foster this game.
Yeah,
And
that's
one of the most
Okay.
incredible flexes I've ever
the
seen.
NBA jumping in on Petty Wars is my favorite thing.
It's the best.
it just adds to the whole this league thing about the NBA and how dramatic it is on social media.
Yeah.
And this is
Oh,
what,
yeah.
this is what we watch for. It's
Yeah.
it's like the other part of the NBA that's so intriguing.
Yeah, but back to the officiating thing. When the conversation becomes more about, oh, we didn't get the calls, that happens in just about every game. Like you need to play a good enough game where those final calls don't matter, or you can handle getting a bad call, because that happens all the time.
Right.
I get really frustrated when the conversation becomes more about that and the Rockets just whining and leaking basically their explanation from, last year we were rigged of not going to the
Which
finals.
is like the nerdiest thing, but it is Daryl Morey.
It's a Daryl Morey.
We're keeping
Yeah.
receipts
To the
on the
hilt.
Warriors. Like, come on, you need to relax.
Yeah,
The
huge
fact that he
nerds.
kept the receipts
Yeah.
is one of my favorite things. Like, that's incredible.
It's
Is
such
it though, or is it like really?
It's aggressive.
It's incredible because it's so outrageous and so stupid and so petty.
This is why no
And
one
I
likes
need
the
that
Rockets,
injected into all of my veins. Like,
Yeah.
this is just incredible.
I mean, look, the referees did not force the Houston Rockets to 29% from the three-point line.
They did not.
So it's like, I just hate the whole, okay, I get that some of them were fouls. There were a few fouls that Chris Paul was rightfully arguing, but I hate the whole, I'm going to flail my body into you, and then it's going to be a foul, and then fall on the floor and act dramatic and yell at the ref. Like, that's so unnecessary. And it looks, as everyone keeps saying, it looks bad on the league. Like, yeah, it kind of does, because you have all these players, bending the referees at their will just by
Yeah.
yelling at them or talking about them on social media.
I think it was on both sides last game. In game 1, I felt like every player, it seemed like on every foul call, was just throwing their hands up in the air. I hate to see that.
Yeah.
Just play the game. And I mean, the Warriors were in foul trouble the whole game. Like, it's not like the Rockets were the only ones who were getting the whistle blown on them. Like, there were bad calls all around.
Yes,
And
Steph had like
it is what
4
it is.
fouls in like the third quarter or something
Yeah,
like that.
there's a bunch of Warriors in foul trouble.
Yeah. And they just didn't capitalize on it at all.
But it will be interesting because per Basketball Reference, since the 2017 postseason, the Rockets are 0-6 when Scott Foster refs their games.
Ooh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
I hope someone gets ejected. But then I also don't, because then it's like, oh, well, they won this game because blah, blah, blah wasn't playing or
Right.
whatever. You go back to the whole Draymond, LeBron thing, and, oh, if Draymond was playing, this wouldn't have happened. But, like, come on, let's relax on that.
Well, wasn't there the stat before like the NFC Championship game? Like Vinovich was the referee, and it's like, oh, the Rams never win when Vinovich is the referee.
And now
and
it's
then they
just-
were the beneficiary of one of the most egregious pass interference non-calls that I've ever seen in my entire life. So maybe it's going to be a thing here where the Rockets win, and this is a different narrative that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, maybe the NBA. I mean, this is ultimate conspiracy theory, but maybe the NBA to Scott Foster was like, give the Rockets all the calls so that they stop complaining about how awful you are to them. You know,
I like that.
like, you know how you get makeup calls sometimes. Like, maybe this entire game is a makeup call.
Makeup call. I
That
love
would
it.
be that. I hate that though.
Oh,
because
me too.
It also gives the Rockets false hope because they're going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, we're back in this series. And it's like, no,
It's
you're
just
not.
going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people. There have been a lot of pieces that people have put out since game one of like, oh, this game or this series is going to be made based off of the officiating, which is unfortunate because it shouldn't come down to that. It should come down to the best guys on both sides of the court, putting out their best. But unfortunately, we're talking about the officiating and not about the game that Kevin Durant had or
Yeah.
James Harden
Yeah.
had or anyone else.
So with that whole report that the Rockets didn't end up submitting to the NBA, but probably leaked to ESPN, do you guys think that that almost is like their strategy biting them in the butt because they focus so much on data and numbers, but they kind of fail to realize that there are actual humans officiating the games? Like, there is a human aspect to this. And I
Yeah.
feel like when you focus so much on the numbers, it's like, well, we're supposed to be getting these calls, but it's the postseason. Like, emotions are high. You're not going to get all the calls that the numbers say you might.
No, I think it's more he's using the numbers to his own evil genius advantage because he is the numbers guy. He's the analytics maestro, and we're going to look to him. And anything that he throws out there, we're like, oh, yeah, this must be right. So he's using it where it's practical on the court and it works. He's now using that same method to be like, to kind of trick us and say, see, these calls, like, this is complete BS. And we're like, oh, I guess the numbers, it adds up. But yeah, you're not going to get the calls in the playoffs, nor should you, because the human element is one of the most incredible parts of officiating, whether it's the umpire in baseball or referee in NFL or, on the court. I need the human element because I need human error.
Yeah.
Because that's just part of the game.
And I mean, I think it's funny that the NBA, people talk about how soft it's gotten, and I feel like, and you can kill me in the comments, I don't care, that the playoffs at least have still maintained some sort of physicality in terms of we're not going to call every ticky-tack foul that's called
Yeah.
in the regular season. And we've also tipped off in the game, Houston has the ball. Eric Gordon
Good start.
bringing the ball to
It's
the court, dips it down to Clint Capella, who was noticeably absent in the first game. I don't know. He did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, is going to be a key to tonight's game.
He
For me, at
hasn't
least.
been phenomenal all playoffs long, though.
No.
I
That's
think I was looking earlier, in 4 of 6 games, he's been below his points average per game in the regular season and also below his rebounds per game in the regular season.
What was his average in the regular season, though? The Rockets got like nothing out of anyone not named James Harden,
Right.
Pretty much, and charge
There's
on
the
James
first
Harden.
foul.
Here we go.
16.6 points per
That,
game
I'm sure
for Capella.
James Harden's not going to be happy about that. He's already leering back at the referee. That's fun.
Here we go.
It's starting early here. Who's he? Okay,
Oh, come
that's
on.
a charge. Yeah,
That's a charge.
you basically bulldoze into
threw
Kevin
an elbow.
Durant. Kevin Durant weighs like a feather, so that's not surprising. And he's kind of wincing in pain now. All right.
Well, that's what happens when you
That's
throw
not
your
what you
elbow
want.
into a fully grown man.
Do you want to take a moment to appreciate everyone who's viewing us? Hunter, our lovely boss, well, my boss, says go Dubs. So Hunter's up watching the Warriors. Thanks. We knew you would be. Tyler Y7 says he's about to cry.
Don't cry, Tyler.
Don't cry.
It's going to be okay,
It's
bud.
going to be a great night. It's early. It's young. Anything can happen. I don't know who you're rooting for. Hopefully it's not the officiating. So.
Nope.
All right.
So we've got 2 calls that have gone for Golden State so far.
Not looking great. If you're Houston, Andre Iguodala
Scott. Come on, Scott.
makes first shot at the line. Andre Iguodala. Let's see. The Hamptons Five, which is the worst nickname ever. I don't get it,
Yeah.
honestly.
The Hamptons 5.
I
can't say that I fully understand
like
what
the
that means.
the death lineup. I understand because no one can beat that lineup when
That's
they put that out there.
cool.
But Hamptons, I don't. Do you remember what the origin of that? Hunter probably knows what the origin
No,
of
I
Hamptons
don't.
5 is, so you could tell us, or other Warriors fans. Who
I
are
can
in
tell
the
you what
comments.
the banana boat thing is
Oh,
about.
well, everyone
but
knows what banana boat.
yeah.
And Paul Pierce tweeting a photo of an emoji of a rocket ship. Was that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was legitimately like an actual
Yeah, it was
photo.
a photo
right?
of the emoji.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is ridiculous. And turnover by Houston.
Wow.
Not a great start
Rough
for the Rockets
start
here.
for Houston.
And Mike D'Antoni looks sour, but he always has that face. Does anyone else miss Mike D'Antoni with a mustache?
I was about to say that. I need
His
some
caterpillar.
D'Antoni mustache in
Me
my life.
too. That's what I like. Him clean shaven is odd.
It looks
Andre
wrong,
Iguodala with the 3.
Wow.
Pretty positive. Yeah, he has all of Golden State points. That's
Iggy.
that's not what you want.
What are you guys' thoughts on these Warriors jerseys?
Oh, I love him.
I love them.
Yeah,
The town.
I think they're good.
John 66667. Thank you for adding 4 6s. So show the game. We would get in a lot of trouble. So you can tune into TNT and watch the game, and then just listen to us talk about it. That'd be fantastic. But
Listening
we
to
can't
us
show you
talk
the game.
about the game is far more interesting than watching it. It's 6-2.
Yeah,
There you go.
Clint Capella just scored.
Clint Capella, who we've just been talking about.
Who gets a bell?
I'm already
Oh, come on,
lacking
Wilson.
on
Clint
the bell
Capella did a
action.
thing.
Yeah, look at Chris Paul.
Brings the ball up the floor. All right. Nope.
You have to do it the way that. Oh, what was
What
that?
was that?
And Klay Thompson with
Well,
the
this is
breakaway
just an
layup.
awful start for Houston.
This is terrible.
What is
Someone
Houston
call a
doing?
timeout. This is not the start that you wanted.
What? Yeah, well,
for
Mike
Houston.
D'Antoni is now sitting. They showed him standing and leering. Now he's sitting and leering.
Oh man,
Which is better?
sitting because at least
None
you're
of them, because
comfortable.
neither of them involve
You're
a mustache.
still down 8
So,
to 2. My God,
Great
all
defensive
of the
play by
calls are
Kevin
going
Durant.
for Golden State.
Kevin Durant, underrated blocker in the league. That's my take. Like he complains all the time about how he's like never voted for all defensive teams or defensive player of the
Yeah,
year.
I would
Does he
say
have-
Does
does
he
he
I would
have
say
height?
all around underrated defensive player. Like he uses his length
Double team on
to his
James
advantage
Harden.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drive. What are you doing? man? All right, whatever.
PJ Tucker, who played 30 minutes and had 0 points last game.
The Morey
three now.
special
Makes it
corner
triple.
3.
8-5 Golden State. Klay Thompson
And-
with the 3 miss. PJ Tucker brings ball up, passes it to Chris Paul. Yeah, PJ Tucker played it was 30 minutes, right? Had 0 points. Like, dude, I get that you're the king of the NBA when it comes to sneakers and everything, but you also need to like back up the product that you're wearing by actually producing on the court. Like, come on, you can't just be out there and
Yep, that was
being
a
completely useless.
Lovely turnover.
And another turnover for Houston.
Oh,
Yo, there we go.
Someone call a timeout. Damn, what? I don't get why Mike D'Antoni's
Mike,
not using the timeout.
Mike.
What's
they're only
happening?
down by 5.
I get it,
looks
but this
worse
isn't
than
great.
it is.
Stop the-
This isn't great.
stop the momentum.
That's
here.
this isn't
Call
great.
a timeout. Like,
Clint Capella just got blocked by Draymond Green. It was a foul, so it doesn't matter. But this isn't great.
No, but they're only down by 5. I think I'd conserve my timeouts at this point.
I don't know. I think if you're
It depends on your coaching style, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I guess if you call a timeout here, it doesn't really benefit you because Golden State's going to be like, we've got them on their heels.
Yeah.
They're already calling a
Ooh,
timeout.
Steph Curry going out with
is it his hand? Is he?
looked like
is his
maybe
leg?
he was holding his inner thigh or his hand.
Yeah.
That's not good. Well, as we've seen,
Uh-oh.
when one of these guys goes down, just another one steps up. So
Yeah, I mean, your go-to guy so far this postseason and probably for the rest of the postseason is Kevin Durant.
yeah.
He's just been playing out of his mind.
Absolutely. And do we think that, I think you mentioned it in our notes for this game, something about if, Kevin Durant's getting more comfortable with this team, does that mean that he could potentially stay with Golden State because he feels like he's kind of found his way here now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors, obviously, that go into the free agency decision.
Mm-hmm.
But one of those things is, if you're coming up on the decision this summer
Yeah.
and things are just going fantastically well, and you just feel good, like, why would you leave that situation unless you legitimately think that there's
I mean,
a better opportunity elsewhere?
he kind of did that in OKC. They were up 3-1 in the playoffs and then kind of shit the bed. And then he left for Golden State.
Sure.
So he was in a comfortable position in OKC. Now, granted, there's rumors and whatever about his and Russell's relationship when they were there. But Kevin Durant seems like the dude who like just doesn't give a crap about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but if you're really clicking with these teammates really well, and it seems like maybe his relationship is a little bit better with these guys than it was with Russell Westbrook and people on the Thunder, like that's a situation that I wouldn't necessarily want to leave either.
And I also wouldn't want to leave that situation and go to the Knicks. I don't.
Yeah,
get
I mean,
it.
do you want to like this team is gonna probably three-peat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can win this round,
your plan B is going to the Knicks, who are just like across the board. Almost no one disagrees that they're run terribly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just I wouldn't want to go to the Knicks. Like if that is plan B, like for me, that's a no.
I guess I don't know. I feel like there's only like one dude in the league who's been able to like pull a whole franchise out of the gutter, and it's LeBron, like with Cleveland. And I don't know, can Kevin Durant do that in New York? I just have no experience to go off of because he's not like the raw leader guy that LeBron James is and, you know, super out there like in terms of outgoing and talking all the time and all that crap. So, I mean, can he do that? Is he going to be the guy that brings back
I don't know.
living
like,
in a situation that has to do with New York media? Like he gets pissed off in Golden State all the time.
For sure. It's a great question to ask and think about because the things we're seeing him do in the playoffs, like he's playing really well. I would argue that we haven't seen a player like every time he touches the ball and shoots, it feels like it's going to go in. I feel like I haven't felt this way about a player and their performance since LeBron kind of took over in Miami and Cleveland. But there feels like there's that edge missing, and maybe it is the fact that he seems a little bit sensitive to criticism and stuff. It feels like he wouldn't be able to go to New York.
A little bit.
I mean, yeah.
Dude is sensitive as hell, which is fine.
It feels
but
like
admit it.
It feels like he wouldn't be able to go to New York and take that criticism and elevate that franchise. And you're working at a disadvantage too because it's the Knicks.
Yeah, and it's
By the way,
James
the
Dolan.
pictures that everybody's showing on Twitter it definitely looks like Steph Curry either broke or dislocated his finger because it pointed the wrong way.
Wow.
And that's not good. I mean,
Josh Hill with the deep dive.
It doesn't look like it's like not dislocated in like a bendy way. It's dislocated in like it's pulled out of its socket kind of way, and it's just kind of like
I'm
there.
sure Ellie LaForce is telling us.
The positive of that is I think that's an easy fix. If it's just out of the socket, it's mainly just placing it back in. I'm sure he'd still be out for some games.
There you go.
Oh my God, that's that's tough.
I'm upset.
That's tough. I mean,
it's like what's
I'm watching the video.
I might throw up those.
It's like
Cocoa
someone
Pebbles.
added like silly putty on
silly
top of it.
putty is just like
that's,
whatever.
That's wild. Well, now Kevin Durant's probably got to go for like 50.
Like, that's the thing about this team. Like,
Steph Curry's
if any other team loses a Steph Curry, like if the Blazers lose Dame,
if James
the
Harden
series
was
is over.
lost,
like the Nuggets are winning that series if Dame goes down. Like,
yeah.
But if Steph Curry is out for even 3 games in this series, you don't have any sort of fear that they're going to
Kevin Durant,
see, that's
mid-range
my
be
jumper.
down. Yeah, like you got Durant, you've got Iguodala. We were just talking about started off this game red hot. Like any one of these guys can go off, and there's no other team like them.
Yeah.
Which again, this is why we should enjoy it while it's happening, because this team's going to break up, and we're going to look fondly upon these years and be like, why didn't we enjoy it more?
But what if
We're so busy hating
So-
all the time.
But what if they don't?
Yeah,
Like, what
that's
if Kevin
my
Durant
thing.
like
That-
signs like a 4-year deal this summer? Clay stays, takes a pay cut. Draymond's still there. That entire team is still intact. All they got to do is just retool their bench, add a couple of vets who want to run a ring. Andre Iguodala for the 3, and no good. That's a definite possibility, and we could be living in Warriors purgatory for the next 5 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if
Unless the Lakers all of a sudden get good. Turnover, Houston. Draymond has the
Houston, what are
ball.
they doing?
This is horrendous to start for Houston, and
It's
still
only
they're only down.
12-8. Yeah.
That's not what you want.
hello.
Who's that? Is that
You're back.
Drebko,
Drebko? I forgot he was on this team. Wow.
I don't know.
You have Drebko coming in with the putback dunk, and Houston is now down 14-8.
Oh, before we forget, let's shout out some of our merch here. So these 2 shirts and this hoodie, you can get them on swag.fansided.com.
Plug.
You can also get that lovely poster.
You can get all this.
Yes.
All this could be yours for the low,
Not
low
the-
price
not the
of
jersey.
Well, you
I
can-
have
yeah, I don't think
no freaking idea.
The Dirk jersey's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not giving you my Dirk jersey.
Neither is AI.
Neither is the Allen Iverson jersey. You can get your own.
I left my Kevin Garnett one at home because it's patently not for sale.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
not going
neither
on.
is
And it's the
Starbury.
nice Timberwolves jerseys with the pine
Oh, yeah,
trees on the
Starbury.
collars and the Macchiano says, quit hating and nobody going nowhere.
What?
Harden gets hit in the face. Well, actually, I don't know if he did. It looked like that was a little bit of a flop there.
And you have Katie open in the corner for
Why
the
would you
three,
leave
and
him
of course
open in
she's
the
gonna
corner?
make it.
Contested three.
And James Harden
So-
is flailing on the
wow,
ground.
this
He's
is
gotten
the
hit in
injury
face.
game. Apparently.
Yeah.
We've already gotten 2 members injured. We've got James Harden now cupping his face. Looks like he got whacked pretty hard.
Curry's finger is dislocated
with
and
the replay.
Harden's eyes are falling out.
So what the hell happened? Oh, on the no.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, it looks like Draymond kind of like put his finger up his nose. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
You got it. He tapped him pretty good.
Yeah, but also it's the playoffs. Get up, come on. Unless he dislodged your eyeball and it's now on his finger, or I don't know, you chipped a tooth or something.
I don't
Come on,
know.
let's get up.
But Jasmine, you like movies. This commercial.
What is this? The
The
Insider?
Intruder.
Oh, The Intruder.
With Dennis Quaid.
It looks like Wait, is Dennis Quaid the bad guy?
Yeah, he's like the
Which
guy.
is a completely different Dennis Quaid than
But I
I've
don't
ever seen in
understand
my
the
life.
motives of the movie. It's like he sells the house and then he doesn't leave and then just kind of
Sounds like the worst landlord
terrorizes
ever
this family. He's an intruder in his old home.
in the house that he
I
used
don't
to own.
get it.
That's
I don't understand it.
that sounds
It
like
feels
a,
like 1
that
hour
sounds like-
photo, but like without Robin Williams and like any of the actual good parts of that movie.
Yeah, that movie looks like it's not going to do very well. It also looks like a true story that could happen with a really crappy landlord. Like they just never leave. They're like, yeah, I'll give you this house, but I'm just staying in the spare room, and I'm also going to be weird as hell. Not that I've ever had that experience, but
It's like a
There's horror
deeply
stories.
specific reference.
it is. I've never had that experience. But
I don't watch movies.
yeah, I
so-
know.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm looking at
I
you.
watch some movies.
You
but
watch like
What was the
5
last
movies.
movie that you watched in the theater? That you went and you paid money for and you sat down with a bucket of popcorn and you watched?
well, I didn't get a bucket of popcorn, but I did pay and go see Us.
Okay.
So-
Well, I guess we talked
You've
about
been to
that
the movies.
within the last couple of weeks.
Well, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't been to the movies in a while, is what I'm saying. You've been there
More recently.
more recently. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, but only once this year so far. So
What was the one before that? Before Us? Because that kind of blew my theory up. I forgot about that.
Spider-Man,
Into the
the new
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse.
You make good choices. I'll say that.
Yeah.
When you go to the movies.
It's true.
But it's like you go to the movies like twice a year. Like I think that's the end of your
Yeah, well,
year, and it's like
it's
April.
usually a family event, and since,
okay.
you know,
So you just don't want to pay for the movie yourself.
whoa,
That's what this is turning out to
whoa,
Oh,
That's what this has
no.
become.
God, Wilson's freeloading at the theater.
Because what I just heard is you went to the movies twice with your family, and I'm assuming you didn't.
No,
pay.
Us was not with my family. I paid for Us.
Okay, never mind.
No,
I stand corrected.
Well,
Macchiano, what do you guys think about Endgame? I know Hill's seen it.
Endgame. I've seen Endgame. I cried.
Spoilers.
in Endgame.
This is your spoiler alert. Just kidding.
I'm not going to spoil anything other than like I cried, but
I spoiled it for myself.
Alex, didn't you cry too? Yeah, Alex cried. Our producer, she cried.
it has been a very long time since I've had that many lumps in my throat when I watched it.
Really?
Like, I had basically had like throat cancer. It
Oh
was
my God.
it was intense. And I don't remember exactly what was the first time I like started to well up, but it was a downhill spiral from there. I was just done.
Well-
and there's like very specific moments that happened. I was just like, this is it. And like the last 15 minutes of the movie, I kept waiting. Like it's not like a terribly sad ending, but like the last 15 minutes of the movie are just, they emotionally beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
I
you
was
feel like-
rattled to my core.
Did you feel like it was worth the 3 hours? Like it was a.
Is it really
Was it
3
was it a
hours?
3 hours and
nutritious
2
3
minutes, yeah.
hours?
Is it really 3 hours though, or is it
I
like
was-
20 minutes of
No, it's 3 solid hours.
trailers? Oh my God.
It's like 3.5 hours with the trailers.
Do you think it could have been cut down though?
No, I think that it's all earned-ish, but
So just found a tweet. Curry just walked back on the floor. His fingers are taped together. He is coming back into the game. That's
Is it
from
his
Nick
pinky?
Friedel.
no, it was his ring
These two?
finger, I think.
So it's probably. So which one would
Or
you
his
tape
middle
together?
finger?
These two or your middle?
Maybe they just chopped
Which
it
would
off.
be?
He was like, I
which
don't
would
need
be more
it.
ineffective for Curry shooting?
They
would
could,
it be
like-
his pinky and his.
They
like,
could
would
tape
that
his
hurt
hand
more, or
behind
would
his
that
back,
hurt more?
and he would probably still be more effective
That's true.
than...
Well, I mean, dude was walking around not being able to see for like his entire career until like 3 months ago, which
Yeah.
is also. Did you hear about that?
I did, yeah.
That's
I don't-
wild.
Like, that's so frustrating. Like to think that Steph Curry is like, wow, he's great, but then to realize like, oh, he couldn't see. Oh, great.
I wouldn't correct my vision if at that point I'd be like, look, something's working here.
Yeah,
wanna know how
I'd
bad
be
it
too
was.
afraid to fix it.
Yeah,
for
like he
sure.
gets laser eye surgery or whatever, and then all of a sudden his shooting efficiency drops. Like,
Yeah, or something goes terribly wrong with the laser surgery.
Oh, well,
like,
that's
Well, and also like, let's say like Steph Curry is like legally blind, and we just figure this out.
God.
Like, What in the last
Rockets
4 or
with
5
another
years of his
turnover.
career would you be like, you know what, we really need to change something about
Right.
this? Like the dude's legally blind and he's still the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. Don't touch that. If it,
Jerebko with
Jerebko to
the
the
easy
hoop.
bucket. Jeez. Look at him with a sly little smile on his face. Golden State up 19-8.
This game's gonna get out of
Houston's
hand.
got to get something going. That's not it. Foul call.
Well, they got to give Rockets some of them to make it appear.
Yeah, that they're actually trying to call an equal game here.
GN Zebzi, whatever, says he just
Hunter.
gave us like a
Jerebko!
closed eye emoji.
That's from Hunter directly.
Jerebko?
Jerebko. And that was my, that's how I feel
Is he
that
the biggest
probably
Jerebko
sound.
fan in the world?
I think he just like saying Jerebko. Because it's a
Jerebko.
Jerebko. It's kind of a cool name to say.
Jerebko.
Kind of rolls off the old tongue. Inbound the ball, Houston. Oh my God, I forgot Austin Rivers.
Austin
oh,
Rivers.
my
Austin
God.
Rivers, the ghost of
Shout
Austin
out
Rivers.
to Austin Rivers. Let's pour one out for him. His
No.
dad's not watching over his career anymore. Chris Paul with the ball and drives into the lane, kicks it out, and it's a turnover. Is it? Nope. They give it to Houston.
It looked like it was off
Because Chris
Okay,
Draymond.
yeah, we
Paul
get
just
it,
keeps
Chris.
going like this
We
at the
get
kick
it.
ball. We get it. You got the ball. If it might feel like we're hating on Houston, we're not. But also, stop
I'm
whining to
hating
the
on
refs
Houston.
on every single
I'm
call.
aggressively hating on Houston.
All right.
Stop it.
And this
Like,
guy's wearing a Houston sweatshirt, I think, just for the
I-
brand recognition.
This is a great logo. I don't care. I actually prefer the Rockets lose, to be honest with you.
Really? Because like last week you wanted Rockets to win.
When
Is
did
it
I say
now
that?
after the whole like we complain? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
it is?
mean, I really can't
Is
stand
that Daniel House
complaining
Nope.
about officiating.
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it to some extent. Like I said, there were some calls that Houston was totally right in arguing, but
Yeah.
like that whole first game, every single trip down the floor, you have one or the other team arguing. Draymond Green with the and one doing his best flexing. You did something painfully average. Every trip down the floor in game one was one person yelling at the ref, the other person yelling at the
Yeah.
ref, and you drove on Chris Paul. That's not impressive. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the most obnoxious thing to me from sports in the last year is the Vikings Saints pass interference call. Like, why? Like that still gets talked about today.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
mean-
Saints or the Rams Saints?
Or yeah,
Rams Saints. Rams
Rams
Saints.
Saints.
I was gotta say.
Vi-
I know you're
yeah.
a Saints fan, but the Vikings game, he just straight
It's
up
just
missed the tackle.
the Vikings game is apparently printed on my brain because I can't stop thinking about that.
I
But no,
understand.
Rams Saints.
Yeah, that was egregious.
Like do enough that you can win the game, even if you don't get a call like that to go your way.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing too, because like the Saints lost that game in overtime.
Ooh, Chris Paul for a deep
Yes,
three.
and they had the
makes
ball
it.
first.
They had the ball
Houston
first. You
finally
have
in
Drew
double
Brees.
digits.
Yes.
Golden State
Like,
still up 20.
Put yourself in a position to win. Like they didn't lose. It wasn't like that was the last play of the game,
Right.
and it was in the end zone, and that would have been the Saints going to the Super Bowl. They had like another play after that happened,
Yeah.
and they didn't get in the end zone, and they got the
Yeah.
ball first in overtime, didn't go. Like, and the Rockets complaining about all these calls. It's just like, what do you like?
play.
You knew you were going to match up against Golden
Steph
State
Curry
at
with
some
a
point in the
deep
playoffs.
three, it's off the mark.
You know how they play, and it's not the first time you've played them in the
Right.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Like game plan a little bit.
So a couple comments. Macchiano, Green all day, assuming Draymond Green. That's fun. Speaking of Draymond Green, misses a 3-point shot. And we have the Carm
Who's that?
asking, where is Carm? I don't know.
I know we have Wilson. Wilson's an upgrade.
Yeah, that's
over
a
the
Wilson.
Carm.
That's
So-
Yes.
that's the
Good
Wilson.
call.
Wilson's an upgrade.
That's the
We've
Wilson.
upgraded.
That's the Hill.
I feel really
Jasmyn.
disoriented too, being not in that chair because I'm usually in that chair for the stream.
I'm usually over there.
Only chair.
How do you
Not a
feel?
fan of
How do
this
you feel
seat.
about the throne?
This shit's
of-
uncomfortable as hell. I don't.
How's Carm's vibe on that
It's
chair?
it's
His impression.
it's
is
very Carm like.
You're living in. She's gonna slowly start having.
I'm just like waiting
Carmisms
to like
throughout the
put my
show.
leg up here
She's
and
about
just be
to
like
just start falling asleep.
like doing the full.
Like at the
Carm
end of the stream,
embodiment.
she's gonna be like the biggest Jordan fan in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just gonna be
I got you, Carm.
out of control.
Doing my best, man. But Carm is with his fiance, who is it is her birthday today. So
Happy
happy
birthday.
Happy
birthday, Chelsea.
birthday, Chelsea.
Curry driving in the hole
Nope,
and kicks
just
back out
kidding.
to Durant, swings it over to Curry, who is now open all of a sudden in the corner because that's how this works. Austin Rivers
I love how-
notably upset in the corner.
Austin Rivers is just like, come on, like that's all on you, man.
Chris Paul drives, pulls up, kicks it back out.
Oh, don't. What are
What-
you doing, man?
is that Iman Shumpert?
What is he
Airballing a three. I'm sure Warriors fans are giving it to him
Iman.
right now. That's when Iman. Can we just
Oh,
talk
I guess
about
he
that
did. Oh,
screen?
okay. He did. I didn't see it from that angle, but he got screened
Yeah,
into
jeez,
another
Alfonso
dimension.
McKinney just boom. Oh my God, that's That's big time basketball right there.
Hunter said Carm had an Uber shift.
I like that he put the
Uber?
The,
There's not
the
even an
dots.
umlaut on the
Yeah,
Uber.
umlaut, they went Q.
That's not even
You
on
went
Uber.
extra. You went extra far
Uber.
to go out of your way to do that, and
Uber.
it's still wrong. It's okay.
Welcome to my Uber.
Kevin Durant drives,
No
hangs, and no good. Fonz McKinney doing. Oh, that's Kevin Looney.
Also, when I was watching the Nuggets the other night,
Steph Curry deep three. They don't call a foul.
I was like, "What happened to Kenneth Fareed?" And then I realized he was on the Rockets.
Yeah,
He
he
is,
is.
yes.
Yeah. Can we talk
And
about
they also
how
have Nene,
they do?
Who, yes,
who I also was like, "What happened to
Yeah.
Nene?" And they're both on Houston.
Austin Rivers. No, he was going to shoot a three. It's just a lot of indecisiveness from the Rockets.
And Kenneth
come
Fareed
on.
and Nene have similar builds and hairstyles, so like sometimes it's easy to mix them up
God.
on the floor.
This is
Is Houston ever going to
Houston
hit a
down
shot?
10. 1 minute or 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're very similar, and like they show up very close to one another on the depth chart.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh wait, look, it's like the Spider-Man meme.
Pointing at each other. Did you see this? Well, you sent me the Spider-Man meme of
Raymond
Raymond
Felton
Felton
and-
pointing at, at
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry, and they're both chubby, thick Spider-Man. It's great. I love that. Austin Rivers trying to shake and bake Kevin
That's not
Looney.
going to work.
And that's another air ball. That's
This
two
is the
air balls.
Second air ball.
Whoa,
from
why are we
Houston.
ringing the bell for
Because
air
you
balls?
missed air balls. That's why. You get...
This needs to be pointed out
Because if that was
aggressively.
me out there, that's exactly what I'd do. I can't shoot that far.
Oh,
I've
here we
got
go.
a sick mid-range.
We're getting into it.
And we've got an
we're
argument
complaining
already.
with the refs.
What are we doing? Reviewing? What are we doing?
We should really have like closed captioning.
The Carm asks, are the Warriors fans the most annoying in the NBA?
Why is Carm trying to stir the pot?
No.
He didn't even show up for work tonight.
Who would be the most annoying fans in the NBA?
Philly fans.
Philly fans are pretty annoying.
I think Philly fandom in general. is
Philly
annoying
in
as hell,
general,
but
as a general population, is annoying.
Yeah.
But who would be the most annoying NBA?
Lakers. Lakers fans are insufferable.
Let's go with
They-
like of who's left in the playoffs. Who do you
relevant,
Oh, okay.
relevant fan
Yeah,
bases.
yeah.
Okay,
Because
that's
Lakers
true.
fans are insufferable.
Let's
but
not
they're
even
relevant.
because that's what they want. They
Yeah.
want us to talk.
They
about
want to
how-
Photoshop every player that's going to be a free agent into a Lakers jersey. Terribly, might I add. Those Photoshops are never good.
Only Lakers fans can get LeBron and like hate him within the first 5 seconds.
Deface
Yeah.
a mural because it's not Kobe. Sorry,
Kobe-
LeBron's a better dude than Kobe
stands-
Bryant.
Kobe stands far and away are the most
Trash.
annoying fan base in basketball.
absolutely.
But neither Kobe nor the Lakers are in the playoffs.
So the teams left, we've got Boston, we've got Milwaukee, we've got Toronto, Philly, Portland, Denver, these two.
Boston's
Wow, named all of them.
Boston's you can make a good argument for Boston.
Yeah.
Boston's annoying
I
just because
agree.
of the amount of success that Boston sports in general has. You guys don't deserve everything.
That yeah.
Ooh, we've got a little tiff in the comments here, Macchiano, which I don't even know who this is, is adding the Carm. Why don't you come to Oakland and find out?
Oh, meet me in
Yikes.
Temecula.
That
Meet me
deserves
in
a tell.
Temecula.
Let me tell you, Carm, you don't want to mess with Oakland or
No.
people from Oakland. Just saying.
Is Carm
No.
gonna take his Uber shift out to Oakland just
yeah.
to settle
He's
this?
coming back from Berlin, so
I would say so.
Apparently,
I'm
according to
gonna
Hunter.
go. I'm gonna rank mine least annoying to most annoying.
Okay.
Blazers,
Yeah, I've never met a Blazers
no,
fan.
yeah.
Nuggets,
Houston with another turnover, by the way. Andre Iguodala loses the handle, gets it back, kicks it out to Steph Curry, who's
Of
open,
course.
and miss.
Steph is
But-
not shooting well with that
Yeah.
finger issue.
I wonder which ones they have taped on his hand. Eric Gordon. Nope.
So Blazers, Nuggets, Raptors, Bucks,
Blazers.
Celtics, Sixers, Rock. No, I don't have the Warriors at the top.
Well, I'm
Do I?
not.
Oh, I don't know. It's hard.
it is.
I could
I'm
swap
not
in.
going to rank all of them. I just know
No.
that Boston's annoying as hell.
Boston and Philly are up there. Toronto,
I don't.
I feel
know.
bad for Toronto fans. Just
Yeah.
because they've had
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
But also, it's like I'm at the line of feeling bad and being like, stop complaining.
Yeah, it's just the funny thing about it is that you get LeBron out of the East, and then you still lose.
And
game
you get
one
Kawhi.
of the playoffs, and you get
You get
Kawhi
one of the
Leonard.
best two-way players of the last 15
Yeah.
years.
and you still can't win your first home game of the playoffs.
You get
It's kind of sad.
outplayed by DJ Augustine.
DJ Augustine,
From the Wayback Machine.
who was like one of those like, damn, he's still in the league.
That's exactly what I said. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know he played for Orlando. Like, I'm gonna
Me either.
I'm gonna shamelessly admit that I didn't know that he was still in the league.
Well,
So
the
then when he
Magic
was going
have
off.
like Michael Carter Williams too. Like
They also have
they have
Markelle
a
Fultz.
roster just full of
Just a
these
bunch
guys.
of
Austin
Guys.
Rivers for the three, he makes it this time.
And we all forgot about Mo Bamba.
Yeah, Houston down 9 to end the first quarter. They started to kind of get a rhythm there going. I think they hit back-to-back threes. Gerald Green, then Austin Rivers Golden State up 29-20 at the end of the first. Hunter asks, over under 5 minutes. Okay, this is written like a nursery rhyme.
5 minutes, Carm
It's
would
like
last
over under 5 minutes. How long Carm would last in Oakland? This is why they hired me as a writer.
Over under 5 seconds he lasts in Oakland.
Depends on where you drop him in Oakland.
Carm didn't
is
even
what
want to watch Blindsiding because it's like
or blind spotting.
blind spotting.
Yeah,
Which I've never been to Oakland, but is apparently a very accurate portrayal of Oakland.
it's a very good movie. I loved it. Blind spotting should have been
Blind
nominated for an
spotting
Oscar.
needed the writing should have been nominated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It
not
was
like,
one of the best written films of the year.
I would agree. Let's see. Carm says terrible D by the Warriors in the first. Thanks for the.
Carm also said he's a lover, not a fighter.
He did, which I believe. I don't think Carm would be able to go toe to toe with anybody in a fight.
You know how
Like, imagine Carm in an MMA fight. Alex, how long do you think he would last? Carm, if you didn't hear that, that was a big oof from Alex. You're not looking good at an MMA.
I don't
fight.
know why I did this, but when I was in elementary school, I had to write a paper on vultures, and apparently vultures like throw up when they're in peril.
Combat?
Because
Stop.
like that's how they like get somebody to like stop being an aggressor.
Oh my
So like
God.
Carm either throws up or falls asleep to try and get the person who's attacking him to stop. So that's what maybe he does last 5 minutes because he goes into like a deep state of
He
sleep.
just starts crying,
my
and the
God.
person trying to attack him
just
is like
crying
confused.
and burping up all over himself. It's like just panic.
He
and
either does
fear.
that or he plays dead like possums do. A possum. A possum? A possum.
He could, but that would require him to lay on the ground. He's too clean for that.
That's true. He's
Carm
too,
would
I
choose
feel-
he's
death.
too
I feel-
uppity to lay on the
Carm
ground.
would choose death over being unclean.
I feel really gross about talking about Carm in this way when he's not
Why?
even
He
here.
talked about you when you were here.
There was a
that was
little
like
tidbit.
an unmitigated
There's a little
shot.
tidbit, and he pulled it back right away. So,
But
like, I
in
think
Carm's
he paid it
defense, he did learn how to kickbox for a fan-sided video.
He did.
If you want to watch that video, you can go to the fan-sided YouTube page. It's on there. You got to scroll past all of the NFL draft stuff. It's actually
Oh,
we
there's
just
the
dropped
link.
a link in the comments if you want to watch Carm take on his best kickboxing lesson.
after the stream. Stay
After
with
the
us for the
stream.
No,
stream.
pull it
Don't
up in a
leave
different tab. You can multitask. I'm not belittling your.
Oh, would it be too
attention
meta
span.
if we like commentated the video while we're streaming about basketball?
It's-
Like that's like Inception.
Let me tell you,
We'll
I
just go
watched
deep.
it. It's a pretty long video. I don't think I need to watch it again. But
I watch it at least once a month. It's kind of an upper
gives you
for
a
me.
bit of a confidence boost
I'm
that
just
at
feeling
least
low
I
enough
can
for
do
me.
better than that.
I actually don't know. Kickboxing.
Have
is
you
pretty
taken a
intense.
boxing or kickboxing class before?
No, Carm is more of a man than I am. So
I can't even do yoga. So
Okay, so that's no. I have.
I've
I
done
loved it,
yoga.
but that's just because
I've
I need
done
to.
yoga,
Pilates-
just not well.
Pilates, I'm out. Pilates is a little too.
I don't even know what
intense.
Pilates is, so it's. how
All
is
I
it
know
different
about
than yoga?
Pilates is my mom had a bunch of
Pilates friends?
who's that lady from
Jane Fonda.
Biggest
Jane Fonda?
Loser?
Oh no. I don't remember.
Julie.
She's terrifying. She
Something
screams
Michaels.
all the time.
Julianne Michaels.
Julianne Michaels.
Yeah, a bunch of Pilates.
Fine.
Or is that the judge on Dancing with the Stars? No, that's not. That's
I don't
Kellyanne
know.
Inaba. Never mind.
But a bunch of.
Friend who's a yoga instructor, and she's like, "Come do a yoga class."
Have you guys heard of hot yoga?
Yeah, my dad did once.
That's
Yeah.
I almost died. When
Upsetting.
I got tricked into doing hot yoga.
Oh,
what did they say?
that's
Oh,
a
it's
terrible
gonna be
trick.
They're like
normal.
it's cold yoga.
It's cold yoga. Oh, jeez. It's basically like you're
Or
in
they
a
say
sauna.
it was goat
It is. It's
yoga.
yoga in a sauna.
It's disgusting. I don't want to be around other people's body heat. You kidding
No.
me? I barely like being around people now.
I don't
It's
like
disgusting.
saunas either because
That's
it's just
sweat and tights and
holds everybody's
Yeah,
body
I'm out.
sweat in the air, and I'm breathing it, and I don't know.
it's terrible. Oh god. All right, back to the game. Golden State still up 29-20.
Do we have any
Austin
info
Rivers.
on Harden? Because he
Is he on the bench? I don't know.
Well, he
someone
went-
needs someone to do a deep dive.
went with that.
Austin Rivers with the layup. Houston.
There's
22.
word on Twitter that Harden was bleeding from the eye.
Oh my god! So it was what I said
That's
it was.
satanic.
He literally got poked in the eyeball, and he might have residue of his eye on Draymond's finger. That's gross.
Under the fingernail, or
And
something,
he's
like-
still
Oh,
not
God.
back on the bench.
Oh man, are they going to put a glass eye in him? Is he going to be like a cyborg out there?
Is he
Okay.
trying to one up
Terminator
Curry
him.
by having an amazing shooting game with one
This
eye?
is what will win him the MVP.
Ooh.
Oh, we got Austin
Oh,
Rivers,
oh,
Jonas
skirmish?
Jerebko.
Oh, we've got a
Jerebko
B-level
and
fight
Rivers.
here.
All right, you know what? Let's lay it down.
The D list.
Who wins this? How many rounds?
Drebko,
Jerebko over Rivers.
because he's got a longer reach.
Oh, so they did tape his two. He looks like Steph Curry can't really get a good
The
feel for
middle
the
and-
ball with his two middle fingers taped together after it looked
All right,
like
he doesn't need
someone
to have a good
snapped his
feel.
finger in
They'll
half.
be fine.
Who are you taking in a fight, Drebko or Austin
Oh,
Rivers?
Steph is into this.
Yeah.
I feel like Austin Rivers is probably pretty soft.
I feel like Austin Rivers is one of those dudes who, when they get in a fight, they probably cry just because. And it's not a bad thing. It's just you have a lot of emotions and you don't let them out in a proper way. So when you get into a fight, you end up crying. I feel like that's Austin Rivers.
Yeah, I was going to mention Austin Rivers looks pretty mean with a beard, and then I said that in my head, and I was like, no, Austin Rivers does not look mean, even
No,
with a
he
beard.
doesn't.
People
Well,
are
I think he does look a little tougher.
No.
But
he looks tougher, but it's a facade.
yes,
It's like the vulture thing. He's just trying to
Just throw up on
that's
people.
his vomit attack.
his
disgusting.
beard
He
is
just
the
grows a
vomit?
beard.
Katie at the line, shooting 2.
People are joking on Twitter that James Harden should come back into this game with an eye patch, and I now
I'm
absolutely want this to happen.
100% for that. I need to see him in an eye patch, please. Stat. Let's get that down.
That would be amazing.
I mean, what kind of contraption are they going to put over his eye so that it stops bleeding? What do you do for that?
I don't know, but I just need a
Band-Aid.
I need
Where,
a-
though? This isn't like Nelly where it's just a Band-Aid underneath your eye. Like, if it's your eyeball that's
Band-Aid
bleeding,
inside the eye.
you know, they haven't made those yet.
Oh, They haven't. Well, they could be inventing it right now.
Oh, good tweet
James
from
Harden-
Andy Glockner. His eye flopped.
Oh,
I don't know
it
about
did.
that tweet.
I like
James Harden left at the 6:27 mark, it says, I think.
Yeah.
Is not returned.
I just
obviously.
need a cycloptic James Harden to come out and win this game.
Yes. I need cyborg James
That'd be
Harden.
like his
Capella
flu
with the
game.
up and
Like he
under.
comes back and he leads the Rockets back in this game with use of only one eye.
That'd be a hell of a
I'm
story.
telling you, he's trying to one-up Curry with this eyesight thing.
I like that.
He's going to be like, I scored 35 points on 45% shooting with no depth perception.
Damn.
What if
Austin
he
Rivers- all right.
hits the game-winning shot with his eye patch on, but he closes his good eye?
And then he takes off the
Oh.
eye patch and it like he throws it and it's like my eye was fine all along.
You know how much that, like, if you threw that into the crowd, how much would that eye patch go for on eBay?
Too much money.
way too much money.
There's blood on it.
Ugh.
Clint Capella with the rebound, kicks it out to Austin Rivers for 3, and he nails it.
All right.
Golden
Austin.
State up
a good shot.
31-27. Houston's kind of making a little run here without James Harden. A little bit impressive, considering they got no production from their bench last game. So, Austin Rivers has 8 points. Great showing from him. James Harden is back. Well, not in the game, but he is walking toward the bench.
Does he have an eye?
He's still wincing. I don't know what they've done to
James,
his
this was
eye.
a missed opportunity.
It looks like he's squinting. I don't think he can really see out of that eyeball, but we'll see how this goes.
It'll be interesting for sure.
I mean, if James Harden doesn't get back in this game,
It's going to be tough, but
it's going to be an
still
early
close.
night for Houston.
Yeah, but I mean, we were talking about this before the show, like Game 3 against the Jazz, where he just is atrocious the entire game, horrible shooting.
Yeah.
and then he scores the points when they matter.
Yeah, but at
So
least
the
he's
game's
out
close
there.
enough.
At least he's out there on the floor because he could still dish it to other guys. Like, he's a pretty good facilitator. He's not out there at all.
Yeah,
What the hell do you do?
I guess I'd have to check what his assists were that night, but
Yeah. It's
I mean, I think he's third of playoff players in assists per game
really.
in the postseason.
Who,
Yes.
who are above him?
Um,
It would probably be Kyrie, I imagine.
might be someone kind of weird like
I was
Ricky
going to say
Rubio
Malcolm
or something
Brogdon
though.
if he was playing, but he's not.
Yeah.
Sad day. Yeah, if James Harden doesn't come back, this is a tough blow for Houston, especially after game 1. You could have had that game when you're one game on the road to head back to Houston. Now you have James Harden, who, regardless of how this game plays out, will be the storyline of like he got poked in the eyeball, was out for an extended period of time. If they don't bounce back, then that's going to be the like excuse, if you will. Kind of is an
Yeah.
excuse, but it's an
Yeah.
yeah, he was 3 for 20 in that game, Game 3 against the Jazz,
Mm-hmm.
2 for 13 from 3, and he ended with 22 points.
Jesus.
And he had
2 of
10
13.
assists. 10
That's-
assists in that.
Yeah.
So
so-
I was evidently exaggerating on the third. He's sixth of playoff
Oh,
players, with 7.7 assists per game so far.
Yeah, see,
One is Russell Westbrook.
of course.
2, this is interesting. Nikola Jokic.
Not
Okay.
surprised.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have pulled that just out
Yeah,
of
no,
nowhere.
no.
But
Yeah, but I'm like, now that I see it, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Makes sense.
Ricky Rubio third, Draymond Green, Kyle Lowry, and then Harden.
So Kyrie's not up there. I just remember one game he had 11 assists.
Kyrie is right below Harden
Okay, there we go.
with actually they're tied 7.7.
They just showed a commercial for the NBA awards, which don't air until June 24th.
Do you guys watch that?
Overstate. Yeah, I do, because I want to see what these people have to say. One, we learned last year that James Harden is not good at giving speeches, which is fine.
not terribly
it's not his
surprising to me,
job.
though.
Like, it's not his
Yeah.
job to give speeches, which makes this whole award show even dumber.
Nothing about James Harden has ever screamed to me, this guy should be a speechwriter in his free time.
Like, I remember people were killing him on Twitter.
Well,
Like,
that's unfair, but-
It's just so annoying. They're like, wow, he really doesn't know what to say. And I'm like, that's...
I dislike that greatly.
Yeah,
When
like-
people go after athletes, they do the same thing for actors too.
But actors, you kind of are... There's an art to it, at least with actors, because it's like you kind of do this for a living, giving speeches that are not real.
But usually you're reading what someone else wrote, which I guess can be the
And
case
you're
for a
rehearsing.
speech
But
too.
they even have paper with them, and they're still like, oh my god, it's so emotional.
I kind of like that. I'm also, I mean, I've always tried to figure out like how much of like the shaking is like when somebody wins for like, if I won like an Oscar for best documentary or something, or if I won an Oscar at all, I would probably pass out.
Yeah.
And it would,
5 years from now,
it would
Josh
be
Hill will
rough.
be at the Oscars,
I'll
by
just,
the way.
they'll have to like resuscitate me on the stage.
Yeah.
But like, I often wonder how many times like actors are like acting when they shake,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe it." Like remember Sean Penn won Best Actor for Milk.
Yes.
And he's a terrible human being, but when he got up on the stage, he's like stumbling over his words and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Well, is he acting?"
Yeah,
But
there's-
people killed him for it, and I'm like, "Well, I mean, like, let's not step on his touchdown."
Yeah.
The same thing with Harden. Like,
I want a
Why
player
is
to
slow
give.
motion of his eye. Oh yeah, there's
looks-
a little blood spot in his right
somebody
eye there.
tweeted out a picture of
Both his eyes are
LeBron
bloodshot.
from the NBA Finals when Draymond got him in the eye, and it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Oof.
Blood spot in the eye. So.
Yikes! And Harden is still on the bench. He's not checked back into the game.
I would love for a player to deliver their acceptance speech in slam poetry format.
Wow.
Would the audience then have to like snap instead of applaud? Like,
Is
I
that
mean,
the
Spike
protocol?
Lee
I don't
kind
know.
of did. If we're being honest, his
Spike Lee's
with
generally
his
a
Oscars.
badass. I mean,
yeah, like his
Spike
Oscars
Lee
speech was
showing
kind
up
of
in
just like
I haven't seen
Just
many movies,
flowed.
but I have seen a good handful of Spike Lee
Spike
movies.
Lee
Well,
is one of the greatest filmmakers.
then you're doing
of all
something
time.
right.
So is
I
John
agree.
Singleton,
yes,
R.I.P. Like
yeah, sad day.
John Singleton and Spike Lee, like two of the greatest filmmakers of the '90s. Like everybody talks about Tarantino and all these
Tarantino, yeah.
people, which rightfully so, but like we don't talk enough about Spike Lee
Well,
or John
their
Singleton.
their cultural impact as well. Like
Yeah,
what they've
absolutely.
done for like African American actors and just filmmaking in
Yeah.
general is fantastic.
If you haven't seen a John Singleton movie, or if you haven't seen a Spike Lee movie, go watch those movies.
Go watch
Yeah.
Poetic Justice or Higher Learning. Those
Yeah.
are two
Higher Learning,
incredible
ooh,
movies.
that'll-
Like
that'll get
arguably
you.
Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington, like he kind of gave them some of their first big roles.
I was reading
Spike
an
Lee
article about John Singleton, like just how far the branches on his tree reach, because everybody's like, oh, Ice Cube, but then like all
like
of
a
the stuff
coaching
like
branch.
Ice Cube does, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a coaching tree,
Yeah.
and it's incredible that like Taraji P Henson, like all of these people, Tyrese, or
Yeah,
like,
Baby
he puts
Boy.
him in Baby Boy, and then he's in the Fast. Oh, he put him in Too Fast, Too Furious too. So he introduced him into that whole thing. So if we don't have John Singleton putting Tyrese in Too Fast, Too Furious, we don't get the beef with The Rock later on,
Which is still funny.
which is incredible.
Oh, that's gonna be a GIF, by the way. That's gonna be a meme. Sorry, James Harden.
It has to be.
It's totally happening. James Harden was just dabbing his eye with the shirt. That's gonna be
A
memes,
dab.
unfortunately.
Oh, Chris Paul is untucked.
It's not the same when it's not Kyrie. And Clint Capella with the putback dunk. All right, he's shown a presence early on this game. I think someone kind of chewed him out and was like, "Hey, you sucked game one."
much more than game one for
Yeah.
sure. He's been here.
Kevin Durant controlling this game though so far, so not surprised. Although Golden State is 2 of 15 since I remember what the stat was for, but they're 2 of 15 right now.
Also, Dan Shed from House of Houston is in the chat.
Hey,
representing Fansided.
Dan Shed, what's up,
Dan
man?
Shed.
Thanks for
Hello.
joining us. Josh doesn't get the bell. You know what?
You gave him the bell.
Yeah, because I thought he'd pay attention to it. It's not.
I think you wanted the bell all along.
There
you
is-
set Wilson up
well,
to
it's
fail.
my bell.
There's no method to your bell
That's
ringing.
the point.
So what? You just want me to be over here just banging on the bell for
Play
whatever?
for 3. Nope. Wow. Was that? No, I thought that was Jordan Bell. It's not. I don't even know. Who's that? Who's 22?
I
28
I don't even know where you're looking.
on Golden State.
You're distracting me with this bell talk. I just feel awful about myself now.
Mr. BKNY, college and NBA basketball have magnetic rims. You know, if that was the case, why can't Ben Simmons shoot threes?
I see Fox Mulder.
Well,
has
also
joined the chat.
basketballs aren't magnetized. So.
But also,
You never know. I've never played in an NBA game before, so you never know what's inside those balls.
Chris Paul for the 3.
Oh,
Doink. Nope.
Nope.
Ooh, James Harden man, I got too
There we
excited.
go.
Set to check back in.
Right next to Steph Curry are 2 injured stars.
He also says Rockets will lose and Warriors will lose to Denver. It's all set up.
Warriors
I
will
want to
lose to
know
Denver.
where
Wait.
he's
In
getting this
what
intel.
world did the Nuggets make? Are you from Denver? Are you a Nuggets fan? Because that'd be cool for you. but
Rockets
in what
will
world
lose
is this
to
rigged for Denver?
Warriors.
That's-
We invented a team here.
So,
and then
so the Rockets will lose.
this invented team
I am
beats
here for the
Denver.
NBA truthers of magnetized rims and, rigged for the Nuggets.
See the sheeps. We're the sheeps.
We're the
We're
sheeps.
just following.
Yes.
Trust me, homie. No, there's no sheep sitting here. Look at the halftime shot in OKC. OKC's not playing, sir, so that's irrelevant.
So that's supposed to be half court in reference to
PJ Tucker, by the way, 3 fouls. But at least he's gotten some points on the board. Bit more effective. Steph Curry just lobs one up there and still not good. He still hasn't gotten the feel for the ball after his fingers got taped together after he got broken in half. But you know
that's
what?
why it
You
doesn't
have
matter.
Klay Thompson, who just knocks down a mid-range jumper, and
Incredible.
Houston takes a timeout. Mike D'Antoni yelling at the refs or yelling at Daniel House. I don't know. Who knows?
D'Antoni.
Both
Chaos
at the
ensues.
same time.
Yeah. Now Steph looks puzzled at the ref who's wearing a Nike Pro shirt
this-
underneath his. Got to stay fit. Wicks off moisture and sweat.
I strongly dislike.
Thank you, Dan Shed. Alonzo McKinney is 28. I thought it was McKinney, but I couldn't. Didn't look like it said McKinney on the back of his jersey.
Oh, Dan Shed would know.
Yeah.
House of Houston maestro.
Well, Alonzo McKinney actually has a really cool story. Dude, basically paid to be in the NBA. Tried out for G League team.
Yeah,
Which
the
you have
fact
to
that you
pay
have to
for.
pay, it's expensive too.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, I think it's I might be wrong in this, but I think it's like a couple $100.
Yeah, it's a couple $100. Yeah,
The
it's not
definition
cheap.
of betting on yourself. Like,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. But
Is it-
just to try out,
That's
like
incredible.
Because I think they said, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he made the Windy City Bulls G League team, and through his journey, he ended up with the Warriors, and now he's in meaningful playoff minutes after.
I love guys like that. Like that's
Yeah.
similar to
Dang.
Spencer Dinwiddie's story. I
Yeah.
think he spent time with the Windy City Bulls as well.
Yeah, wow. Windy City Bulls know how to get talent, but don't know how to transfer to the
Don't know how to
Chicago
get it up to the Bulls.
So there's some disconnect there.
Yeah. I love the G League, and I'm excited to see where that goes in future
Yeah.
years because they keep expanding it. They're about to be at the 1-to-1 ratio where every team has an affiliate. I don't think this will ever happen, but it would be great if it was similar to the MLB where they can
It's like an actual farm
Yeah.
system.
and develop guys down there. It'd be great if that was the case, and they're definitely utilizing it more each year, which is good.
Yeah, and I think it is also great that they're starting to pay those dudes more because I know that was been a good big gripe for G League players is they
Yeah.
they're not making a lot of money, and I know that I think it was 2 years ago they increased the base salary of G League players across the league, which
Yeah.
is a huge deal for them. Some of these guys are working other jobs and doing other stuff. Like this isn't a full-time gig for them.
And now there are those G League deals where players can come out of high school, right, instead of college,
Yeah.
and it's the increased salary. Only a few
Yeah.
of those available, I think, but that's a good thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, because then you get into the whole conversation about paying college athletes, which this is a nice alternative to. Because, I mean, the one and done stuff is, needs to be, the next CBA, I think that's going to get sorted out because
it's not
Yeah.
working.
That's a blight.
It doesn't help the players.
No.
It doesn't help college basketball. It doesn't help
Yeah.
the NBA.
It's
Like,
not helping anybody.
No.
I mean, it helps the NBA when you have that once in a lifetime player like LeBron James, or if Zion's going to be what everyone's projecting Zion to be.
But that's the thing. Like,
but it
how
would
many
help out
number
of high
one-
school too. Like,
Yeah, the high school kids. And then it's like, how many of these drafts are just like 3 players and then it's nothing?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I've
last
been
year was not that. And
Yeah.
last year's draft was probably one of the deepest we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
But the next 2 drafts coming up, 2019, 2020, are thin. There is not a lot of past 5. Like,
yeah, I mean, we say that a lot of years.
like just with the eye test, obviously. Not like,
Yeah.
obviously there's going to be every year, there's always like a handful of dudes who come out of nowhere. And, there's always the Manu Ginobili who comes in the second draft or second
Right.
round and they become, a great player. But based off of when you're trying to build interest in, people becoming fans of the NBA or basketball in general, it's hard when it's like you don't really have a lot of people
Right.
to showcase that at
Yeah.
the college level.
I mean, like 2016 was Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Dragon Bender, Chris. Do these drafts, and you expect
James
depth
Harden's back
like
in
that.
the game, by the way.
Sans an eye patch, which is
And
criminal.
that draft there is a good example of like Ben Simmons went to LSU just to fool around for a year.
Yeah.
Because he had to.
Yeah, Ben Simmons did nothing at LSU, which I think is
They
so
went
hilarious.
to the NIT.
Yeah. He was just like, and he was, if there's one thing I love about Ben Simmons, it's his honesty, his like brutal, blunt honesty. I love it because he was like straight up just like, yeah, ooh, was that Andre Iguodala for the dunk? All right, he's looking spry and young and like 76
I've loved him this series so far. I know
he's
it's only been a game and
I mean,
not
hey,
even a half.
that is
but
a finals MVP right there.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
It's not like he's a scrub.
0 for 3. No points for Harden.
Jeez.
Granted, he's played 7 minutes and has one eye.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see how he does.
cut him some
Curry
slack.
guarding him, or at least trying to. And he gets straight to the bucket. That was easy.
is.
James Harden finds his
Yeah.
first points of the game.
I'm okay with him.
Houston's still down 33-40.
I'm
5
okay
minutes
with him
left.
if I'm the Warriors going to the bucket, but you want him to settle for that floater. Definitely not an easy layup like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, when you have Steph Curry on him, it's going to be a lot like that. He can't really keep him
Right.
from getting to the paint at all.
But I mean,
Kevin Durant works on Daniel House, and it's in. It's like you said, anything that Kevin Durant shoots, it's in.
it's ridiculous.
Golden State up 42-33 on Houston. And turnover by James Harden. I don't know
Whoopsies.
who he was passing it to because it was
He's
in
got
between.
one eye, so he
is-
can't see.
It was in between Daniel House and Eric Gordon, I think. I don't know where he was going with that at all.
My thing on the NBA draft is in the G League, to wrap up that thought. It's in 2021 or 2022, isn't that when we might go back to high school players can come straight out into the
Yeah,
draft?
they keep pushing it back like a couple, like they still haven't announced officially when. They're going to go back to high school students being part of the NBA straight out, but
Because that could
it's
change
soon.
everything.
Yeah.
But then you could also leverage that into, okay, we drafted him, we'll put him into the G League. Just like, you draft Bryce Harper first overall, and you put him in the minors for a year.
Yeah.
And you can call him up the year after. Like, he came
Yeah.
up really early.
Yeah.
So you can, but then you're adding value to the G League.
And
So it's-
Klay Thompson
I don't see any downside
drains
to
one.
it.
Golden State now increasing their lead 44-33. James Harden bringing up the ball.
This game's getting out of hand.
Now we've got Andre Iguodala trying to guard him. They got the switch and straight to the bucket for
Go!
Harden, and it's
Another easy
in.
layup.
James Harden's just getting to the
Oops.
rim. Will, and that's too
Oops.
easy. Klay Thompson with the dunk. Klay Thompson with some emotion. I love Klay Thompson with emotion. Makes
I
me
just
happy.
want so I know you're trying to wrap up the G League thing, but to bring it back up, I just want the G League to no longer be looked at as like if you're sent down there to develop. I don't want that to be looked at as an insult.
Yeah.
I think if you look at a career
Ooh,
like
step back three. Nails
Oh.
it.
All right.
if you look at a
James
career
Harden
like
with
Markelle,
one eye.
you look at a career like Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
He could
like,
definitely benefit.
If
from that.
he wasn't under the scrutiny of the Philadelphia media market, he could go down to Delaware, the Sixers affiliate, and play a season there. I think, that would have tremendously helped him out because
Yeah.
it seemed like, whether the injury, because there's some speculation that the injury wasn't real and a lot of people think it was mostly mental. If that was the case, like
Steph Curry just blocked Clint Capella.
much less
Oh my God.
fans there with high expectations.
Yeah.
And they're on their feet in Oracle. He dips it down, kicks it out to Clay
Of
for the
course.
three. Oh, off the mark. That would have been a perfect sequence. That's one of those plays that the NBA would put on Twitter in slow motion. I love watching those videos,
Yeah.
by the way.
They are. It's
Very emotional.
Very crisp.
I loved
PJ Tucker
watching
kicks it out,
the
swings it. Austin Rivers for three, nails it. Austin Rivers with the three.
Dame big shot with different music tracks
Yes.
overlaid.
Oh my God, that shot is so poetic.
good.
I love that shot so much. I love Damian Lillard.
And then they're mixing it with the
Steph Curry
2014
and one.
series-ending shot that he had too.
Oh yeah, I remember when that happened because the shot that he made in 2015 was over Chandler Parsons, and Chandler Parsons tweeted out, he's like, "Happens to the best of us." He's like, "Yeah,
I love how that was everybody's like, oh, that's kind of funny, but in reality, Chandler Parsons is directly comparing himself to Paul George. It's
exactly."
no,
That's what I thought. I was like, "Did you just secretly
very
compare yourself
sly,
to Paul
but
George?"
you were
Dan
no Paul
Shed,
George.
James Harden is the MVP in my opinion. I don't know about that, Dan. Now I know you're in charge of the Houston website, but
House of Houston.
I don't know, man. I think it's Giannis still.
I mean, in the
We're just
playoffs,
basing it.
right?
But this is a regular season award. I feel like I have to remind this to
Yes.
people
No.
every time we bring
Yeah.
this
I agree
conversation
with you.
up.
I heard you arguing with Carmen about that. There's no argument. It is a regular
Yes.
season award.
Okay,
There's no argument.
that looked like a travel. He stepped back,
It usually
jumped.
is.
Curry kind of blocked it,
Oh, you better take a shot here, Austin.
and another turnover by Houston. How many turnovers is that on Houston? Anyone?
D'Antoni just looks like so much more sad without the mustache.
I know,
Like at
what
least it
the
was
hell, man?
comical when he's like upset.
Yeah.
Durant.
Now
Oh my
there's nothing
goodness.
to-
The Warriors
The
have
Durant
4
Sonics
turnovers.
jersey.
The Rockets
Yes,
have
I was like,
11.
there was a Sonics jersey in the wild. I love it.
Guy.
That fan, you just made my heart really happy. Love it. Love a good Sonics tribute.
Oof.
Clay.
Wait, what were you saying, Wilson?
I was answering the turnovers question.
Oh.
Warriors
Contributor.
have 4.
Sorry, Dan.
Rockets have 11.
Rockets have 11. It feels like a lot more.
11's still
Dang.
not great.
All right.
Not even halftime.
All right, PJ Tucker. All right, Steph Curry with the ball. Ooh, oof. Kenneth Reed trying to. Oh God, no. Oh no, don't get embarrassed.
Ooh.
And
there you go.
turnover.
All right.
Game's getting a little sloppy. Lots of turnovers as of late. Chris Paul trying to put the moves on Steph. Oh my
Ooh.
God, completely bodies that man. It's a charge. Well, again, just like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry weighs the weight of a tissue.
Glad there's no arms up in the air complaining, though.
Yeah, now we're just getting back to
Chris
basketball.
Paul evidently
yeah.
learned his lesson
Definitely
after getting
extended that
ejected
forearm.
in Game 1.
Which
or
is
he's saving it for later.
Which is funny because I remember before Game 1 happened, there was a video that Rachel Nichols from ESPN put out where it said she did an interview with Chris Paul about like what happens when, the emotions get high, like, these are two teams that like to argue with the refs, technicals, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's in the moment, yada, yada, yada. And then he's like, I don't think it'll undo either team. And then he ends up getting 2 technicals in Game 1. And then she retweeted the video and she's like, and it happened to be Chris Paul. I was like, that is pretty funny.
All right.
Got a foul on the floor. I think Curry just fouled James Harden. Is that what it is? At least he's taking it in stride. He's not arguing. That's nice.
There's a lot
he
of
kind of
agreeing
is.
going on tonight.
It's passive
that a
aggressive.
passive-aggressive
It's
thing?
totally
Passive
passive aggressive.
agreement.
Absolutely. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't-
totally fouled.
That's not a foul. I don't know why we're just zoomed in on James Harden's butt, but whatever. His
all
eyes
in the-
seem to
it's all
get
in
back
the
to
notes.
His poor eyeball.
his eyes seem to get back to normal color though. They're not as red as they were when
No,
he was on the
just-
bench. That's
he
good.
Just like scratched it. There's still some redness there.
All right,
Well,
Draymond
I'm
now
like pretty
on
sure that's
the
how you
beard.
get pink eye. So
Yeah, look,
let's watch out on that.
Austin
injury
Rivers.
report.
Over Curry, short.
Nope.
Iggy with the rebound. Draymond pushes
What
the
a
ball to the
dribble.
floor, kicks it back to Clay with the step back. And,
No.
okay, Andre Iguodala with the
Iggy.
putback dunk. Of course. It's
Iguodala
happened
on
like
cleanup
6
duty.
times. And there's another shot of the Kevin Durant Sonics jersey. That gets a bell ring.
Kid's my hero.
See, this is why I put it. I'm going to put it on yours. There we go.
I
You
don't know.
lost
I don't
bell
know. I don't know how
privileges.
the bell works.
It doesn't
Yeah,
work.
you're great at
You
this,
just
Hill.
ring it.
I was under a lot of pressure
You
there.
just ring it when it feels right. See?
Yeah, well, it didn't feel right when
Well,
I had
you need
it.
to.
Wilson's a lot more
You need
selective
things to
than I
feel
am.
right more. All right, that's my analysis. You said that we would address this at the end. I'm doing it now.
Ooh, Dan says, Jasmine, I agree with you that the Greek Freak is insanely good, but what the Beard has done this year overall is MVP worthy.
I think for a 30-game stretch, what he did was MVP worthy. But this is a full season award, and I award consistency. And Giannis has been consistent all season. That's it. I just like consistency, and that's not to say that James Harden is like. I mean, he did go 2 of 13 from 3 the other night, but there's a first third of the season where the
Yeah.
Rockets were absolutely horrendous. We're second to last in the Western Conference,
Yeah.
and I get
They
that
did
there were
have Carmelo.
injuries. Carmelo did ruin that team, and I get that there were
God, I keep
injuries and
forgetting
yada yada
that.
yada.
Yeah, that was
but,
this year.
That seems like so long ago.
I
that
know.
Melo was
Yeah.
A,
I really
in the
thought-
league, and B, with Houston.
I really thought that a playoff team. Actually, no, that would have just screwed up any of these teams' chemistry. But they could have. I thought he would have gotten picked up by a team before the deadline to
Poor
be
Melo.
on
I
the
feel
bench.
bad for Melo.
At
I
least
don't.
I feel like if the Lakers made the playoffs, I feel like LeBron would go get Melo so we can go make a run. I'm going to try and get this dude his ring.
Well, he did try and get Melo. There was
He didn't try hard enough,
pretty strong rumors when they were trying to make their final playoff push that he really wanted him. And
and then just didn't. Ooh,
Harden?
Harden with the mean step back and
Nice.
nails it over
All
Iggy.
right.
All right, we're getting a bit closer.
only a 9-point
58-49, Golden State, 4 seconds left.
They're gonna need a
Clay
bucket
drives
here.
up the floor and gives it to Draymond. Shoots, shot's no good, but he did make it.
Draymond.
Doesn't count.
something.
It counts in our
Halftime
hearts.
score, 58-49, Golden State.
I agree that Giannis is my MVP too. Mm-hmm. But it feels like when you're talking about the MVP discussion, when it comes down to 2 or 3 players this year, it's 2. It feels like if you choose one of them, everyone assumes that you're just completely
hate the other player.
trashing the
Yeah.
other. It's not the case. Like,
No.
I don't think anyone
good
who's
point.
like Giannis is the MVP thinks James Harden is a bad player or didn't have a great season. That's not you. 2 things can be true. Both players can be really good, and one of them can be the MVP.
I feel like the crowning Giannis the MVP. While I agree with you, I think we're 3 for here in thinking he's the MVP. It feels a lot like when Derrick Rose won the MVP, where we're crowning the next generation of star. Where we're ushering in Giannis as a face of the future in the NBA. He's the MVP. This is his moment. This is him in the spotlight. I don't know if they're going to get to the finals. I certainly hope they do.
Yeah.
But that's his moment where, okay, he's arrived. We can finally build the league around him the way that we did with LeBron, the way that they maybe wanted to with Derrick Rose until his knees decided to stop working.
Yeah.
So, in the vein of the conspiracy theories we've had going on tonight, is that something the NBA wants, though? Because Giannis is very much not outspoken. He doesn't do a ton of the, I don't know, playing with the media that LeBron does and stuff like that.
I don't think you can look at it as like they're trying to emulate what LeBron has done, because LeBron isn't like Jordan, isn't like Will, isn't like, people who've come before him. So it's going to be different. Like that's what I hope it is. I don't want to see another 20 years of LeBron James playing the media. Like that's boring. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like Giannis is going to either play his entire career in Milwaukee, and he's going to bring up Milwaukee as, a franchise that used to be really good and has kind of struggled since a very long time ago. But I don't think that they want someone to follow in the footsteps of LeBron in the sense of like how he micromanages.
No, I don't
an
think so
entire team.
either. But it feels like, and I don't know, I don't know if I totally agree with this, but I feel like some people will make the argument that Giannis just isn't as marketable as other players might be.
I don't disagree, or I don't agree that he's not marketable, because I've seen him on, like, he's on that Hulu has live sports, like,
He's
promo
definitely
thing.
starting to do more.
Yeah, and he's in another commercial, but I don't think he's not marketable. I just think he's in Milwaukee, and so people aren't really like being like, this guy plays for the Bucks. He's not. He doesn't play for the Lakers. He doesn't play for New York. So like, why are we going to offer him products?
On social media, he's definitely not as marketable. I think.
I also disagree. He does Instagram live streams, and there's been a couple of times where he'll like read comments, and it'll be him and his girlfriend, and he'll make like silly comments.
Those
he's
are
hilarious on Instagram, or like even on Twitter, he'll go on there and be like, because he's not from America, he'll be like, I just tried hot dogs for the first time, or I just tried macaroni and cheese.
The tweet about the smoothies. Do you guys remember that?
I think he's out there.
I want to read it verbatim.
Again, like he's on the Bucks, he's in Milwaukee. It's not a big market. Like he's not going to get the amount of attention that it's going to be like. Hopefully he can bring up Milwaukee like LeBron did Cleveland.
I just tasted for the first time a smoothie, ... in all caps. Man, God bless America.
See, like,
yes.
There you go. See, I think, and again, he's young. Like, we haven't really seen a full-fledged Giannis. He still doesn't have a consistent jump shot.
And
like,
to debunk the argument that I was kind of arguing and didn't even totally believe in,
just
trying to create
firmly with
conversation
at
here
all.
on the live stream.
Derailed us all.
The Bucks just built an entire new arena, which you could argue is pretty much because he's brought this energy to the city. He's done a lot for Milwaukee to kind of put them on the map. He's almost made it a destination of sorts, or, I mean, they were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't expect that from a small market team necessarily.
That's what I was hoping, like, the Timberwolves would become. When they get Jimmy Butler and they hire Thibodeau, they've got Karl Anthony Towns, and like you want to make it a destination. Giannis has done that for Milwaukee. And he's done it on his own. And I was thinking this with Game of Thrones ending, like all of these shows that we had, they end like Breaking Bad, Mad Men, they end, but we always had Game of Thrones to fall back on. When Game of Thrones ends, there's like this void. It's like when Jordan retired the first time. Or the last time, whatever. It's like, well, what do we do? Are we going to have another LeBron figure? Is Giannis that? Because he is building up Milwaukee the same way LeBron built up Cleveland. Or are we going to be in this kind of void where we don't have that guy and we're trying to anoint him? Like that's what I think maybe the NBA conspiracy theory, like the NBA is trying to set up. Like they're trying to set up the next LeBron. And Giannis checks a lot of boxes.
And the funny thing is, like, the NBA has been doing this, like you said, for years. Like, I remember the cover, I think it was a Slam magazine cover Ben Simmons on the cover of it, and they're like the next LeBron.
Yeah.
Like every big high school,
Zion.
phenom is like the next LeBron, and they want it to happen so badly. And obviously, Ben Simmons is still young in his career; he needs to work on his jumper. And Zion hasn't played a professional game yet, but Giannis is here now. Like he's proven that he can play at an MVP caliber level. He's proven that he can, make drag a team to the playoffs, and he's done all these things. And it's also great that he wants to stay in Milwaukee.
Right.
He's not the guy that wants to go to LA, wants to go to New York. Now that might change 5 years from now because everyone can change their mind. That's fine. But for now, he wants to be in Milwaukee and he wants to bring a championship to that city.
He's a very pure face of the league for sure.
He's a very
Like,
likable person.
Yeah.
He's a very likable basketball player. I don't think I know anyone who dislikes Giannis. I don't know what you can dislike about him.
I mean, even if for some reason he doesn't work out, there's a lot of things we could fall back on for the NBA as like the next face. Like you've got Luka, you've got Ben Simmons, arguably could fill into that.
You got Joel Embiid. I mean,
I just think I don't know. He plays a very specific role. I feel like maybe I'm wrong in this, but I think the face of the league kind of needs to be able to be one of those do everything guys.
And maybe
Joel
it's-
Embiid is like, he feels like a Dennis Rodman to me, where he's like a very interesting character and he's very good at what
That's
he
fair.
does, but he's never going to be, you're not going to say hey, Dennis Rodman's the best player in basketball.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid's never going to be the best player in basketball. He's going to be in the top 5, but he's not going to be the top guy.
Yeah.
Giannis is that. Luka is that. So
Pascal even looks
Pascal
like he
Siakam
could
looks like
elevate
he's
to
gonna-
that.
That'd be a good one.
But it also doesn't have to be a guy. Like it could be a committee of dudes. We could have we could have 5 guys who
Yeah.
are just the
Maybe
face.
that's
We could
the
be
next
2
face of
dudes.
the league
It could be
is-
Magic and Larry. We can have 2 guys.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one person. And I mean, there's still Anthony Davis. He's like 20. He's only like 25 years old. Like he still hasn't even like made any sort of postseason noise. So who's to say that? If he goes to Boston next season or if he goes to LA or whatever it is, and he becomes the face of the NBA. Like, there's a lot of players that I think could not team up in the sense of playing on the same team, but kind of take that void of what LeBron will undoubtedly leave when he retires and whenever that year is.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I like the committee thing. It's like a Brady Rogers thing. Like there's no one guy in football right now.
Yeah.
You're like this is hands above the rest, the best player in the game. Because there's arguments to be made for Rogers, there's arguments to be made for Brady, and I kind of like that because even with LeBron, like he dwarfed Kobe. Like Kobe what should have been that guy who takes the mantle from Jordan. And LeBron comes along, and Kobe had like a couple of years where he's the guy and the only guy.
Yeah.
And then LeBron comes along and completely steals it. And I kind of like the idea of living in this world where it's Simmons, it's Giannis, it's whoever. Like, and Durant would be the elder statement or, in that scenario because he's the old guy.
Well, it's good for the league too. Like it's not like you turn on the TV and there's one player you want to watch every night.
Yeah.
It's every night you could watch any of the games that's on TNT or ESPN. And there's a different star that you love to watch.
Which I think is far more enjoyable than what we've got in the past, I would say like 5-10 years where they have to put some of these games on TV because like everyone gets a chance to be televised. Like next year, there's gonna be a Hawks game on TV that I'm actually gonna want to watch because you've got Trae Young, you've got John Collins, you've got if they get Zion the number 1 pick or whoever the hell they get this year because they're gonna have 2 top 10 picks. Like that team is suddenly exciting.
Yeah.
Orlando just made the playoffs. They're kind of exciting if they keep Vucevic.
Right.
Brooklyn's exciting. Like the only team that I will absolutely never watch when they are on TV are the Phoenix Suns because they are terrible and they're mismanaged. And I'm sorry, Devin Booker, but you need to get the hell out of there. Every other team in the league has someone that you want to watch.
I struggle to watch the Knicks as well. Depending on how
But they could
Depending on
come
how they
back,
do
too,
though. Like
so-
depending on what
And
they do
that's
in the
thing.
offseason.
Like the idea that there's a committee of stars also completely kills this conversation that we've had for the last couple of years where it's like, well, it doesn't matter what games I watch, the Warriors are going to win in the end.
Yeah.
Where now actually the playoffs are more exciting than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Because there's no LeBron. Yeah, we still have the Warriors, but we've got the Sixers are interesting to talk about. The Bucks. Dame is there. I mean, I know it's not the most interesting series against Denver, but Portland and the Nuggets being there, who everybody faces. The Nuggets are like the 2 seed. So like, this is great. I love it. And if you have a committee of stars, it really represents, we're going to be sitting here watching a game in Atlanta at 6:00 on TNT, followed by watching a Milwaukee game. Yeah. And that's something we haven't had in a long time. And I think that's good. Like most would say, it's good for basketball.
Yeah.
And what I love about that too is all the stars that we named as this possible committee, they're all from all over the world. Like Pascal's from Cameroon, Luca's Why am I blanking on where Luka's from?
Slovenia.
Jasmyn.
Slovenia.
Yes, Slovenia. Embiid's from Cameroon. If you throw him into that mix,
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is from Australia. Trae Young is from the United States. So
United States of America.
Yeah. USA. A good diverse group of people.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Dan Shed says in the comments, he asks, where can I get those awesome fan-sided stickers? Well, Dan, that's a great question. This one is not, the Shaquille O'Neal is not a fan-sided sticker. That is that's a pack of stickers that I got for purchasing Kirk Goldsberry's new book that just actually released today. It's called Sprawl Ball, a visual tour, I think, of the NBA. He did this for people who pre-ordered his book, so that was cool. Fan-side stickers, I don't know. They're just laying around here in the office, so I just slapped a couple of them on. I don't know if they're in
They
our
might
swag
be on the
shop.
swag store, but if they're not, you can still get these 2 shirts from the swag store. So
And many
swag.fanside.com.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry we couldn't be more assistance there, Dan, but I have no idea. They just gave
Sorry,
me
Dan.
stickers, and I was like, okay. So,
Also, it's raining and the satellite went out. So.
yeah, so there's that. This is why you don't do satellite.
Direct
Man.
TV.
Well,
I
isn't
imagine I
DirecTV
could
satellite?
stream it on the. Yeah.
Press select for solutions. Well, where's the damn remote?
There are no solutions to this.
Well, the solution is stop raining.
Where do we put the remote?
I have the remote.
Select for solutions.
Select takes you to more info, and it's like
In rare instances, this might be caused by severe storm.
this is stupid. I can just get my other laptop. We can stream the game.
Let's
on
check
that.
the radar.
Sounds good.
We can MacGyver this.
Do it. Sorry, Dan, I know.
Oh, the sad face from Dan.
I'm sorry, man.
Aw, we don't want to make people sad on this stream.
Well, I know that we do have
He asked the
some
wrong
of
question,
those
so-
fan-sided
Not my
meetups.
fault.
We do have fan-sided meetups that we do throughout the country. So whichever
do.
one is closest to, I have no idea where you live.
They'll probably have one in Houston.
Yeah, they'll
think
have one in
they-
Houston.
Did already?
They have them throughout the entire year. They always give out free stuff there: hats, T-shirts, probably these stickers.
Dallas, they had one.
Pop sockets for your
Dallas.
phone. They give those out there, and since you are a contributor, you're more than likely to, join that. Just check your email because I think that's where it goes. I don't know. I don't get those emails. I'm
I'll
not that
return with a
fancy.
stream.
Gotten some technical difficulties there. If you're wondering why we're all sweating, apparently, well, we're in Chicago, and it's like torrential downpour here all day, and for the past 2 days here in
Yeah.
Chicago. Prior to that, it was a snowstorm on Saturday. which was
Ridiculous.
Also stupid.
It's
but yeah.
going to be May in, a couple hours, and it was
And-
snowing a few days ago.
And now we can hear the storm. Like now it's louder. And I thought by like 10:49 at night that it would have stopped by now.
Nah.
Because it typically stops at night. Like, I don't know. That's
Does
just,
it?
I mean, at least in Phoenix it does. It doesn't, or
It doesn't
does,
happen in
or
New
it does, and
York.
I just don't hear it, and I'm passed out because I'm a really heavy sleeper. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with over here in Chicago.
Hill is working hard to get us.
Get us situated here. But let's look at some halftime stats here for the Warriors. We've got Klay Thompson leading the way, 13 points. Not much else. He's shot 1 of 5 from the three-point line, but 6 of 12 from the field. So that's where he's gotten all of his numbers. For Houston, we've got James Harden, 12 points, even though he's only played 13 minutes of the game so far with that disgusting eye injury. Was it Draymond Green that poked him in the eye?
I didn't see it.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
I think it might have been Draymond because it was like I think he was trying to go for a rebound and something wonky happened there. But
The Warriors are shooting 25% from beyond the arc,
and this game is still what it is.
and the Rockets are shooting 45% from beyond the arc.
Which, just speaks to Golden State and
Well, a
the
lot
fact-
of their points have been like Iguodala cleanup points.
yeah, it's a lot of
Like
putback.
they're making the most out of those missed shots.
Which kind of is like, again, Clint Capella, box out your dude.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Hill, how do you just have so many laptops lying around? Are you the
Hill,
laptop
the king
plug?
of technology here in the fan-sided office. Hey, look, it's Oprah. Alex, does that mess up anything for you? Okay.
I've returned to the stream.
We are back. We now have a TV that works.
We do.
Woo! It's still halftime.
Chromecast action.
Let's see. Dan Shed. Harden needs to go all Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and rock the goggles in a second. Ooh, yes.
Ooh, that would be
I'm
good.
100% for that. He needs to do something.
We need more goggled players in the NBA.
We do. We have a total of 0 currently, and we need at
Oh,
least.
Otto Porter, doesn't he
Otto
wear?
Porter wears
Not
them.
all the
wear
time,
goggles?
though. Is that an
Sometimes.
all the time thing?
He may have.
I haven't
stopped
watched a
doing
lot
that.
of. I haven't watched a lot of Wizards or Bulls basketball as of late. So, Oh, that's another team. Wizards. Won't watch them. Sorry, Bradley Beal.
Well, how long is Bradley Beal going to be playing in Washington? Like,
Well, when is he a free agent? In a year? 2? They haven't
I
signed him
don't
to
know off
that.
the top of my head.
I mean, they can't pay him after that John Wall disaster of a deal. Which, is kind of sad
Dwight
because...
Howard next year.
Yeah.
oof, Dwight Howard. That's another one
My favorite...
that I don't necessarily feel entirely bad for. But I'm also very cognizant of the fact that he is an example of what happens when you don't adapt when the game changes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he unfortunately came along. Like, he gives us a couple of really fantastic years with Orlando, and it's right around when the game starts changing. The same way, like, LeBron goes back to Cleveland, and all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors dynasty emerges out of literally nowhere.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in Dwight Howard's career. Like, the game changes. He's built for the NBA from the mid-2000s to the late 2000s, and then it changes in the next decade, and he just doesn't adapt.
Yeah.
Which I think is less of him adapting and more of just his type of player is just kind of rendered useless.
Yeah.
You're not a good shooter. You don't even have a jump shot to speak of. You're a poor free throw shooter. You're basically, your bread and butter is in the restricted area, and that's it.
Same thing with Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah.
Like, players like that. And the Heat, when he goes into his free agent year, are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yep.
Because at the time, it feels like a really good idea to lock up Hassan Whiteside for years to come. And then all of a sudden,
disaster.
overnight seemingly, the league just completely switches, and he's now one of the worst contracts in the league.
Yeah. And we were back.
Andrew Wiggins says hello, but
Well, yeah,
Well, so
I
does
mean,
Chandler
one of the
Parsons,
worst.
Timothy Mozgov. We were back from halftime. Klay Thompson just nailed a 3 in the corner. Golden State is up 61-49. James Harden has the ball, guarded by Iguodala. I like several different people guarding Harden tonight. All right, Eric Gordon with the 3 over Steph Curry. Steph Curry looked baffled.
by the way, Bradley Beal is an unrestricted free agent in 2021 when he'll be 28 years old. So
He'll still get. That's a.
a
He's
prime
gonna
spot
get paid
right
a
there.
lot of money. Draymond Green fouled, I think, by Clint Capella on the drive.
if it's raining this hard, by the way, it definitely means that the front of the building is flooded.
Oh, no.
Yikes!
So
How
this might
much
be
of
this
the
might be a
front of the building?
24-hour stream.
I just
here.
remember before I started working in the Chicago office, I remember seeing a picture, I think, by one Patrick Allen. Was one day it was pouring here, and it was a shot outside of on the front of the building, and it was just like complete flood.
I remember that one as well. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like you could drive a boat through it.
And 63-52 Golden State. Draymond knocks down free throws. All right, let's see what James Harden has in store for us in the second half. I don't. Hopefully, don't. Ooh.
Oh, hello.
Clint Capella went
And-
for it all.
Capella tried to test Kevin Durant, and that did not work.
Never do that.
And they call a foul on Kevin Durant. He's astonished. He's beside
There's-
himself.
dumbfounded.
He is
There-
trying to hold it together.
There's
folks.
much less of the throwing your arms up in the air this game, but a lot more just like blank stares and
1,000-yard
passive aggressive
stare.
smiling.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. It's one of my most. Ugh, I hate that.
The mouth
Chewing
guard
on the
chew?
mouthpiece. Like
How many mouth guards does he go through a year?
Well, he probably gets a different one every game, but like they probably whoever makes them, I'm sure they make a year supply for him for the entire season, and then I'm sure before the
He's
playoffs
the
they
PJ
make.
Tucker of mouth guards.
I'm sure. I mean, I've never seen another player in the league chew on his mouth guard as much. I know Dirk does this thing where he puts his mouthpiece over his ear.
Jimmy Butler does this nasty
And-
thing where when he's taking free throws, he puts his mouth guard in his
Tights.
Yeah,
Seems like a Jimmy Butler.
that
thing to
seems
do.
sweaty.
Disgusting.
Doesn't
That's
surprise
disgusting.
me.
That's. I've seen some
I
guys
expect
put
far
it. In,
less of Jimmy Butler.
I see some guys put it in their socks too, which is also an odd place to keep it.
Oh.
Alley-oop to Clint Capella. He jams it
Hide it in
home.
my sock.
Kevin Durant bringing the ball up the court. Hey, Clint Capella, 10 points, 7 rebounds, far more productive than he was in game one. But we've said that so many times. But it needs to be noted. Kevin Durant for the 3.
He just
PJ Tucker is just doesn't know what to do. I mean, you can't guard that man. There's a handful of dudes in the league who doesn't matter what you do, you can't stop them. And that's an air ball from Eric Gordon. Not good.
oh
Not good. It's okay. Golden State up
Gordon.
66-55.
Little Eric Gordon.
What are we
in my
looking at a
life.
replay here? Okay, the lob to Clint Capella. I'd like to see that KD 3 again, actually. KD again. Oh, Clint Capella on him. This is going to be dangerous. Okay. To the rim. Hangs.
Oh my
nails
goodness.
Okay, you know what? Kevin Durant's going to have like 65 points by the end of the night. How many points does he have right now? 20.
Too many.
7 for 13 from the field. That's the other thing about KD. Like, he doesn't have a lot of inefficient games.
No.
Like, he's so efficient, super effective, consistent as hell, except for, the 3-1 lead when he was in OKC. He was noticeably absent for that.
I mean, that
playoff
was
series.
very early in his career, though.
I mean, not really. He's been in the league since like 2008, and that was in 2016.
Has it been that?
He's
That's
been in the league.
true.
I mean, he was on the league. He was on the damn Supersonics.
Yeah.
He's been in the league for a while. I might be off a year or two, but I'm pretty positive.
I mean, I forget that he was in the same draft class as Greg Oden. So
Yeah, and the fact that they.
R.I.P..
Can you imagine a world? Eric Gordon knocks down the 3. At least I think that was. Can you imagine a world where KD was on the Portland Trailblazers for a second, and
I mean,
what
isn't
that
that
would mean?
the famous Michael Jordan question too?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if? I mean,
Draymond with the
Blazers
easy
wouldn't have had to trade Scottie Pippen then. Could just kept him.
That's true.
Right.
There you go.
It's
You
also
still,
true.
which is phenomenal because we still get a Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. That's like destiny.
Yeah.
No matter
It's
what
bound to
happens, they're
happen.
bound to be together. Ooh, this will be a nice trip. I don't
he
know.
didn't have his mouth guard in
didn't even have his
until the
mouthpiece
play
in.
was like
My
half
goodness.
started.
Greg Oden, yeah, the first overall pick. Kevin Durant was the second overall pick in 2007.
7. Okay,
Third
sure.
overall pick, Al Horford.
Wow.
So it's,
Okay.
if we're talking about it hasn't been that
I
long.
did not know. I knew he was old. I did not know that he was the 3rd overall pick. That's impressive.
I call
Chris Paul with the runner doesn't make it. Clint Capella with the rebound putback, and
There
he
you
nails
go.
it.
if Carm
He
was
wanted a
here,
foul, didn't get
he
it.
would throw a fit that you just called Al Horford old.
He will.
Well, yeah, I called Carm old last live stream. He corrected me. He said he was a
Factual.
middle-aged man. That's
And
fair.
then called other people in the office.
old.
When he is the well, he's
Kevin
the second
Durant
oldest. but-
nails the 3. He's up to 23 points, 73-60 Golden State.
I don't want to keep deep diving on the 2007
Do
draft,
it.
but Mike Conley was the 4th pick.
Damn it, Mike Conley's that.
That's a
he's been in the
decent
league for a
draft.
while.
Jeff Green was 5th.
Ooh, no. Okay, all right? So a bit of a collision at half court with KD and James Harden.
course.
And Harden throws his hands up in the air again. No, he was
He just
saying it was
he
him.
was taking ownership of it. Let's not
Still-
slander the
still
good
with the
name of
eye.
James
Still with his
Harden.
eyeball.
I mean, it's not.
Is he
Well,
being?
James Harden-
I'm sure it hurts.
I
But
think James Harden wears glasses, so he might have contacts in.
real glasses or fashion glasses?
I think he wears real glasses, and if he does, then I understand that. Because as a contact wearer and glasses wearer, it is very annoying when something gets in your eye while wearing a
True.
contact.
Although fashion glasses, Jake Willarius has a great hot take on that, where he's like, people shouldn't wear fashion glasses because it's a disability that I can't see. So like he's like, you don't like
Yeah.
have a wheelchair for like a fashion accessory.
That's true.
So like, why
I
would you wear
might just
glasses?
try that.
Look, if I didn't have my
Strolling
contacts
with
in-
crutches, blinged out crutches.
Yeah, right. It's
If,
like
if I didn't have my contacts in, I would not be able to see the screen, like the words.
I
Like,
had
my vision is
contacts
that
in when I
bad.
came to the office and I took them out because like it
They're
gets
annoying.
late at night.
Yeah, and they
I'm
get
like,
dry.
I'm
I've-
dried.
I've never been to the eye doctor.
That's
That seems questionable.
yeah, that is questionable.
Like, you think I'm lying, or you think
No,
I should
like
go
I
to the eye
think it's
doctor?
Seems
questionable.
you need to go to the damn eye
choice that
doctor.
You've never been to the eye doctor.
Ooh, Eric Gordon with the 3. And if you, hopefully you guys understood what that action meant. It seemed like it made sense. Golden State still up 73-63, up by 10. Oh, timeout called.
Anyways, the 2007 draft. Nick Young was the 16th pick.
Who's
USC, right?
that? You mean Swaggy Pete?
Yeah,
No, the
USC.
man-
He went to USC.
Yeah,
The old
USC.
Washington Wizards took him.
I wish Nick Young would just go full out Ron Artest and change his name legally.
No.
That
I
would be
wish Nick
amazing.
Young would just go away.
A little Ocho
That's what-
Cinco in
he
your
got
life.
his ring. I don't need to see him on another team again.
Thad Young was the 12th pick.
That's a
Rodney Stuckey was 15.
wow. What happened to
Marco
Rodney
Bellinelli was 18. Like, this is a
Well,
good draft.
draft.
And Marco
Yeah.
Bellinelli looks like he's
Corey
like
Brewer.
50.
Thanks for tuning in, Dan. Have a good one.
See you later, Dan.
We get it. It's late. We got to go to work tomorrow too, and here we are. It's
at
11
work.
p.m. in Chicago.
Oh, it's 11. I wasn't even looking at the clock.
Are you? Ugh.
It is now 11 o'clock. And
I
let
was
me
feeling
tell
good.
you, we will be here bright-eyed and
I
bushy till
legitimately, for
tomorrow.
some reason, thought it was still like the 9 o'clock
Yeah,
hour.
so
even
did
though
I.
we've been here for 2 hours.
It feels early though until you look at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like it's 11, and my mouth is really dry.
Wilson Chandler, the 23rd pick.
Yeah. Nuggets? Or did he get drafted?
Mark Gasol was a second-round pick that year, 48th overall.
Just goes to show.
So I
you.
guess that kind of wraps up the conversation we were talking about the G League and the draft too. Like, you never know what kind of class you're going to get. Because if the G League's there and you have a chance to develop a guy like Aaron Brooks and send him down,
Yeah.
You do
like,
it.
who knows? Rudy Fernandez, who everybody loves Rudy Fernandez.
That's why I'm always quick to kind of pause when people are like, "Oh, this draft is so thin." Like,
Yeah.
you never know the gems you might find in the second round.
Yeah, like these guys.
Like Jasmyn said, it's, the eye test maybe at first is a little bit bleak, but you spend some time with some of these guys and then turn them into something special.
Yeah, well, like they're a bunch of guys. Like Jared Dudley's the 22nd pick in this draft. And
Yeah.
he's just a guy. But we just watched a first-round series with the Nets with him, where he's kind of a bit of a spark plug for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and not like if he would have been developed in the G League, he becomes a different player than he is. But like to Wilson's point, like these drafts are deeper than we think in hindsight.
Right.
It's just in the. Oh man, I can't believe the Raptors took that Bruno guy a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he got picked, and people were like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be a Kevin Durant type player." I was like,
Didn't turn out that way.
lofty.
Yeah, lofty aspirations. We all can't be 7 feet tall and silky smooth shooting styles of Kevin Durant. That's just it's not a thing that we're all gifted with, let me tell you.
Unfortunately, not.
If we'd all be in the NBA. Even then, I like if I was Kevin Durant, if I had Kevin Durant's body type, I don't think that I would be good at basketball. Like, he's so abnormal because he is so lanky, so tall.
It doesn't
and
make
is
sense.
Just purely athletic and can do damn near everything on the floor, pass, shoot, everything.
I have a hard time being 6'1". Like, I'm incredibly awkward at this height. So if I had a few more inches, I feel like I'd just be even less athletic.
Yeah, I also just feel like I don't know. Is Kevin Durant clumsy in his daily life? Because I feel like he probably would be.
It could be.
Like,
When you're that tall, you're just bumping into things. Like, you have to.
I'm 5'10".
Well,
I
also
bump into
imagine
things.
he get used to it at some point. Like you realize your spatial
Awareness. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you run into a cabinet like me. Kevin Durant inbounding the ball for Golden State. 10-point game in the third quarter, 7 minutes left. Steph Curry launches one horribly, and they're still down.
Curry's
by
only
a
2
bunch.
for 8 from 3-point range too.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, PJ Tucker
Nope,
fumbles the
PJ.
ball. Foul on either Draymond or Curry on that double team.
Oh,
Something
now
went
the
wrong.
hands are going up.
Curry's shocked.
Yep, it's that time of the night. Third quarter.
Let's see. Oh, well, they're not going to show us the play that they should. I hate that. When they,
Yeah.
like, why are you showing me a replay? Okay, here we are, as I'm complaining. I don't know who that foul is
Yeah,
on.
that was a weird call.
But this is what, people who write about the league on a daily basis are talking about. This looks bad. And I remember it was either reading an article or listening to a podcast with one of the, people who cover the NBA. They were saying that, like, the Warriors, like, treat the referees so badly that, like, no one realizes it. They're constantly yammering in their ear. They're constantly yelling at them, cussing them out, like, doing all these things that people don't even realize.
Who was that? I think I read the
kind of
same thing.
yeah, it's
I feel
kind of
The
unfortunate.
Athletic today?
I feel like yeah.
It wasn't today, but it might have been the Athletic.
feel like
similar articles have been
Yeah.
written, I feel like.
I don't know why I feel like David Aldridge said something about it.
Maybe.
But I don't
know.
know.
I remember reading earlier this season
Off
an
the mark
interesting
for 80.
article about the politics of arguing a call and why veterans get more calls than younger players
Durant
sometimes.
rims
And
out.
a lot of times that is because, it's a human thing. Like,
Yeah.
if the more games you play, the more you know the referees. And there's an interesting tidbit where a veteran told a rookie, I can't remember which two players, learn the referee's first name and don't just say like, hey, you, but like address them by their first name, build a relationship and a rapport, and you might start getting those calls. It seems kind of messed up that that's what you have to do to get calls.
Yeah.
But it's a game officiated by humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that goes the same with media members. Like, Russell Westbrook should probably take some of that advice. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he is, and here's Draymond
There we go.
flipping out over a call.
Durant was doing it
So
too.
apparently, in the first half, everyone was on their best behavior, and now to start the third, everyone's just throwing their arms up, having a tizzy. Let's see, what's the gripe that Draymond has? So I don't even think. Okay,
That?
Okay, I get it, but again, like it's playoff basketball.
Right.
Just keep it going. It's
Clint-
Clint Capella. He's
Clint
not
Capella's
gonna,
not doing anybody any favors at the free
He's
throw
not
line
going to
here.
be making.
And the
those.
thing is, like, what? You throw your hands up like that, and what are they going to do?
Yeah,
Reverse
be like,
the call?
You're right. Sorry. Let's get. Here's the ball. Let's not.
You were right.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's not going to happen. When has a referee ever changed a call? Never. Unless it was reviewable and it's under 2 minutes, which it is not. Andre Iguodala brings ball up the court for the Warriors. Oh, what? Another foul. All right. Well, a lot of.
See, now that I know that it's 11 o'clock at night, every
Yeah.
single call that extends the game
What are we
frustrates me
doing?
even more. So I'm just
let
I'm
everyone get
going
to
to
the
throw
rim.
my hands up.
Yeah.
It's not going to change anything, just like it's not going to change any of these calls.
It's not going to change the time. Which is why the West Coast is definitely the best coast for sports.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And anything
Easily.
late night. Like,
Growing up in Phoenix and living in Phoenix was the greatest thing. I think the last finals I watched in Phoenix, I think, was 2017, and games are on at like 5 o'clock,
oh, that sounds amazing.
and they're over by like 8.
Like,
That'd be nice.
And you still have the
That'd
rest
be
of your
real
evening
nice.
to enjoy.
I grew up having to record games because I knew I was going to fall asleep in the third quarter and watching them the following morning.
Yep. I even did that in Central Time.
Yeah.
Like Monday Night
It's-
Football. I could
yeah,
never
it's
watch
still
Monday Night
late as
Football. I'd
hell.
get to halftime and I'd have to go to bed.
Yeah.
I actually remember the first year I watched the NBA was the first Heat championship. And I loved that team. I loved D Wade and Shaq. And
Austin Rivers for 3. Nope.
I was not allowed to stay up as late. Like my bedtime was before the games. So we had to record them on VHS.
Yep.
And I actually would go and look at the score online before. I don't know why. I just wanted to ruin it for myself. But I still enjoyed
Right.
watching it after I knew the score.
Yeah.
And it took like 5-10 minutes for the score to load because we had dial-up internet.
Wow.
Whoa.
So-
This is really a trip to the past.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Gordon, nope. Despite Houston's shooting on camera terribly from 3, there's up to 48% from the 3-point mark. Klay Thompson, by the way, 19 points. And this is, I think, point number
22.
18 and 19. No, we're a little behind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stream life. Oh, Curry is pumped.
He
That's
is
a gift
hyped
right
for
there.
his
There we
fellow
go.
Splash brother, my favorite Splash brother, my favorite Golden State Warrior, Klay Thompson. Love him. Love his dog Rocco. If you guys don't know, Rocco the bulldog has his own Instagram account, and it's adorable.
I'm going to have to look that
And
up.
when Klay celebrated
Fact
his
check.
birthday like 2 years ago, I was covering the Warriors for USA Today's Warriors Wire site, and it was his birthday, and apparently the Warriors made or brought in a birthday cake for him shaped like Rocco, which is the cutest but also most unsettling thing to be like, here's a cake shaped like your dog, eat it. Like that's I don't know if I'd eat it.
There's a 3-part series on NBC Sports, Day in the Life of Klay Thompson and Rocco.
Shut up.
I'm
that
looking
new?
at it. I have no, May 8th, 2018.
Damn, send that to me. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow.
I will.
That's what I'll be
I'm
doing
gonna slack it to you right now.
while I'm waking up at God knows when to get into the office. I have no idea when I'm
I'm
coming.
being here at 8.
That's a bad choice.
It's a horrible. I'm not saying it's a good choice. I'm just saying that that's what my future is.
That's what my future holds. 8 a.m. to question mark. Yeah, Klay Thompson's very interesting. I love him.
I also love that Kaiser Permanente here for their Klay Thompson commercial. Completely a rip-off. Like, so we have Michael K. Williams, who everybody knows from The Wire,
Yes.
and, whatever, and we have Klay Thompson, who everybody knows. You really don't need much more than that. But they're advertising whatever it is that they do by using a 1957 Ingmar Bergman film, The Seventh Seal.
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
I respect it. Like I still don't know.
And it's
at
a
all what's
noticeable. I
happening.
mean, maybe it's not noticeable. I've seen the movie, but that's because
Yeah, I mean, playing chess with death.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a very. I mean, I guess I don't know because like I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
but
same.
like. I don't think the Seventh Seal is like
universal.
I mean, we're not gonna ask Wilson because he's still needs to
He's
watch
looking at
Star
us
Wars.
confused as
Yeah,
hell.
I don't know what's going on.
He's like the Lion King. Like,
Yeah, that commercial is also
bold.
Like the sound is off, and I'm like already
don't
invested.
even know.
Like I don't care what the hell the commercial is about. It's Klay Thompson. Like I don't care. This man is the fact that I think in the first round when they were after they lost the first game to the Clippers, people were asking him like your jump shot's been off. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I went and took a dip in the ocean. That's how I rejuvenated my shot, and it seems to work out. I'm just like, you know, if we could all just be as cool, calm, and collected as Klay Thompson, it's impressive
I
to
can
me.
only wish.
Like, I feel like he's one step away from like Donnie Nelson. Like, honestly, like that's his future.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
I don't dislike that.
Yeah, Don Nelson showed up to, you know, the Warriors press conference and was talking about how he was smoking weed at wherever he lives in Hawaii or something.
For Don Nelson.
Love him.
He's living the life.
Yeah, just total hippie.
Why?
and
What
Bill
was the
Walton.
purpose of that press conference?
I honestly don't remember. I'm sure it was something really important.
Was it, or was it just for him?
It was like some partnership of something. Who knows? I don't remember. But I do know that it was very entertaining, and Don Nelson is
So-
a treat.
I know you and I had a conversation about plus minus the other day, but all five. I mean, this isn't much of a surprise given the score, but all five of the Rocket starters are very far in the negative on plus minus.
Yeah,
And
to be
of course,
expected.
the Warriors are very far in the plus.
Yeah. Klay Thompson
Are the
with
Warriors
3 goggles.
going to sweep?
Ooh,
Damn it.
it's a great
See?
question.
It's I'm
Well,
not even good at it either.
Yeah, you guys have been lacking on the bell. It kind of wakes you up.
Well, now that I know that it's midnight, like
No, see, here's the thing. I thought Houston was going to win tonight because it's Travis Scott's birthday. And I thought that would be like, yeah, Travis Scott, Houston, let's do it for
Astro World.
Astroworld, for Travis Scott, but no.
But instead, they went sicko mode.
I was deeply
All right, you know
disappointed
what?
with the Travis
I'm
Scott
leaving.
concert that I went to.
What?
At,
Which one did you go to?
The one that was in Chicago.
Yeah,
At
when?
the United Center.
Yeah, when? The one in
Leg one or
December,
leg
or the
two?
one that was recent?
The most recent one.
We were there.
Oh.
Wait,
I went with a bunch of people who I didn't know I was going to go, and then they were like, you have to come, and I was like, okay.
but he was here twice. Are you sure it was
It
It was
was
the most
February?
recent one. It was the most recent one
In February. Yeah, we were 100%
What
there.
the heck,
Yeah,
Hill?
well, I was up in like the
So
Yeah, so
luxury
were we.
box.
Oh,
Get
Yeah.
the hell out of
So-
here with your bougie
So
ass.
I was thumbing my nose at you little people
God.
who were with your seats. I was like, oh,
Jesus.
sitting. Wow, what is that like?
God.
But I was like really kind of disappointed with this whole roller coaster thing.
Actually, I will
I
agree
thought it
with
was
that.
going to be a lot more intense. I was like, oh, he's going to rap in there. Like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually a really good show. He's got stage presence to spare.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I really loved it. But like it came to a grinding halt at what should have been the most exciting part where he gets into the roller coaster and spins around. And literally like he stopped and like the slowest go around. Like it was
true.
comical. I actually liked it because it was
Yeah.
so goofy. But I was like, I thought it was going to be a little bit more.
Or even this roller coaster that went, you know, through the middle of the thing,
Yeah.
or the sheet that he pulled down that was like half pulled and
Yeah.
only one side of the audience could see it. It was like United Center was definitely not built for Travis
No.
Scott's stage ideas. So I wish
Yeah.
I could have seen him in like maybe an outdoor venue where,
That would have been cool.
you know,
I appreciated just as a whole the theatrics of
Oh, yeah.
what
Oh,
he
for
did
sure.
for
It
his
was a
tour.
show.
it was a hell of a
Capital
show.
S.
It was did you buy any merch? Question.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
This sucker bought. He bought
Would you buy your
a-
$80 t-shirt?
like a
and-
$40
I bought a
hat
$40 hat, which
he has
isn't
not worn
that
once.
outrageous.
Oh,
no,
no.
I did wear it.
Okay.
You should have had that as stage dressing.
I
Like,
bought.
that would have been good.
I didn't buy anything. I was gonna buy that Chicago Cubs Travis Scott shirt,
Oh, that was good. I love
which goes
that.
against my morals of being a St. Louis Cardinals fan, but it didn't say Chicago Cubs on it, so it was fine. But they sold out of them. So then I went and bought a bootleg version of the tour shirt on eBay for like $20, which
There
is
you
like,
go.
and those shirts were selling for like $60 at the concert. So
Yeah.
I feel happy in my choice.
I don't know. Like if you buy something at a concert, like yeah, you're overpaying. You
Yeah.
know that from the jump.
Yeah.
It's like the experience
But,
of
like-
having gotten it there.
Like his stuff and like Kanye West's merch, like all of their merch
Yeah.
is like really overpriced.
way.
It's a
I'm
bit
very
out of
much
my-
a sheeple, so I saw a large crowd going
Like,
for merch,
Yes, I gotta buy
and
something.
I was like, oh, the money I don't have, it needs to be spent.
You're like, here's my bank account information. Try
Yeah.
it later. It's not going to work. Not
and there
that's what I
were
do.
gobs and gobs of people like buying not just like a shirt or a hat, like 5 shirts and 3 hats
Yeah.
and the sweatpants. And
That's excessive. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's a
also,
resale,
I don't know.
obviously.
You know, you were luxury, so I'm sure you didn't walk around a whole lot.
Oh,
but
no,
it was
I
a lot
got
of teenagers with
elevated
mommy's
up.
money.
it was a lot
yeah.
of, it was very, I mean, where we were sitting, I think we were sitting in a good spot where our seats were in terms of not like,
Where were you? Because it would be hilarious if like my
were, like,
luxury
beneath
box
you.
is literally right on
You were
Yeah,
like
whatever.
looking right down at us.
probably, We had like a straight shot to the entire
Upper corner.
stage. Yeah.
So, upper corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I was in the upper corner, and I saw everything.
I felt
it was
disgusted.
cool though because you guys were high up too. Like when he goes from one side of the stage to the other.
Yeah.
And it's like a parting of the Red Sea. I was like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was really cool.
Or like the little girl who was like on her dad's shoulders, and he had everyone chant her name. That was pretty cool.
that was cool too.
That was sweet. I can't believe that you were at the same concert.
Yeah,
so
that's wild.
I mean,
wild.
I figured it was bound to happen, but like I actually didn't think it was gonna happen. There's only like 20 people in this office.
That's true. But we do all have the same music tastes, which is
That is true. Also
the
true.
stars do align.
James Harden is up to 13 points now.
It's only a 12-point game.
Yeah. Minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Durant kicks it out. No good for Iguodala.
Hill, did you listen to Schoolboy Q's new album?
I did. And
Thoughts?
Big fan.
Thanks, man.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Are you not a fan?
No,
This
I
is
am.
He gave it a 5 out of 10.
No. It's not what I said. I
How
said
about
It is.
10?
I
said
dude, I
on
can
my
pull up the
first
receipts.
on
We
my
give that a failing
first
grade?
listen, I gave it a 5. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. Like I've been listening to it a lot more since it came out. And at first listen, I was like, I don't know, I just expected more. But
You said it's a 6
guess-
or a 7.
I guess like for me, guys like Travis Scott are kind of like fast food. Like I can listen to that first listen, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm with it. And Schoolboy Q's a little bit more like a meal that I need to like sit and taste a little longer. I don't know
So
if
what
that
meal are
analogy
you
totally
describing?
I get them. Yeah, I like that metaphor.
What meal would?
works. Like a nice steak dinner. I don't know. Like
I was just asking. I just wanted to know how your
Well,
brain
so you
was
have to let
working.
like wine breathe or something like that. So I'm told. Like I don't let it breathe.
The box wine that I drink does not need
yeah,
any
box
breathing
wine
time.
is very
I mean-
hard to breathe. Like I put it in the glass and I'm like breathe, and then I drink it. It's
I
like-
give
the
you life.
reason this isn't making sense is because I don't do fancy things like eat nice dinners.
Yeah, we know. You just had Cocoa Puffs for dinner tonight.
No, I had Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles. Put some
All right,
respect on the
sorry
Cocoa
to
Pebbles.
disrespect your dinner
Oh yeah,
choices.
while we were fine dining on Wingstop. Yes.
At least we ate actual substance. You ate cereal, which is essentially air. Like,
Well, I mean,
you're gonna
Cocoa
be
Pebbles
hungry
is- Cocoa
in like
Pebbles
2
are legit.
hours.
I'm hungry right now.
Exactly. It's not
gonna
sustainable.
go home and have another bowl of Cocoa Pebbles before I go to bed.
Oh, that's upsetting.
I want some Cocoa Pebbles now.
I don't.
This is
I'm good.
upsetting that I don't have this.
I would love a ginger ale, but
Well, Target won't be open when we leave for you to get some. So
Target
Sure
won't
won't.
be. I'm sure there'll be some place.
Target actually is closed now.
yeah. It's,
Well, because it's the dead middle of night.
oh, hey, I think it stopped raining. That's nice.
No, it's just we've gotten so used to the sound of the
Or is it-
rain.
yeah.
This is like, you know, when the
Or have I just
Titanic
gone
was
deaf?
sinking and they're like, oh, we can't hear the water rushing over the boat anymore. It's because it's completely
It
submerged.
must be fine.
And then
I
it
can't
breaks
feel my
through the window.
limbs. Parents would not let me watch
It's
it.
literally been around as long as you've been. Like,
Literally.
Is that a fact?
Right? Isn't that like a 90s movie came out in like 96 or 97?
Hey, Dan Shed's back with us. Eat a nice steak. I'm sure Chicago has something.
I thought you went to bed, Dan.
Dan's
Not that I'm
charging-
upset about that.
Dan's powering through with us. Nobody else is interacting with us in the comments. If anyone else has any thoughts, anything you want to get off your mind, talk about some steak, some food, some Cocoa Pebbles. What's your favorite cereal? What's your least favorite cereal? I like Raisin Bran, Crunch, the generic kind, not the on-brand stuff that's can kick rocks. The kind you can get from a grocery store, and it's just like Kroger brand.
Kroger brand.
Yeah, it's good
Never
stuff.
been to a Kroger.
Well, it's not a Kroger store. They sell Kroger items. So,
Oh.
like Fry's
Oh, I
in
see.
Phoenix.
Okay.
Or Mariano's
Okay.
sells Kroger stuff.
What do you think Steph Curry's favorite cereal is?
Something that tastes like popcorn. That man, I read that whole article that Mark Stein wrote about his power rankings of popcorn, of the arenas in the NBA. Number 1, Dallas Mavericks.
Interesting.
They said they have the best popcorn in the entire league. Chris Paul for the 3.
Oof.
Damn.
Oh.
It's nothing but backboard. That's the kind of shot that you hit in like a pickup game and you're just immediately embarrassed.
Yeah.
Also, who is this lovely lady on the sidelines with her like leopard print?
Here you go. PJ Tucker's
jumper?
like, it's his turn. Next man up and
Everybody
what's
go
going
off.
on thing. Oh,
So
look, it's
now
too
the
bright for
light's
James
blinding
Harden.
him?
Oh, God,
Okay.
this is just...
It
This
is
is a
not
problem.
healthy for him to be
This
on
is
the
a
floor right
problem.
now.
This eye.
He needs to be secured in a dark room right now. That is troublesome. Also, the Warriors did that on purpose with all those bright lights. Just throwing it out there now. Trying to get him off his game.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
PJ Tucker, 9
4
points.
fouls?
4 fouls. Again, a bit more productive than the 30-minute 0-point performance he put up first game. Dan Shed's favorite cereal, Frosted Mini Wheats for the win. I can respect that.
Oh,
Yeah,
choice.
Kevin
I'm-
Durant with some frosted
I'm a
mini wheats.
big fan of Frosted Mini Wheats.
Those are very good.
Yeah. I like that he did the mini and not the full size because you get more. I like it.
The trick with that is to have
Step
it
back.
sugar
Damn,
side.
he got mauled. That was a
Yeah,
foul.
He did.
That
That was a foul.
Yeah. He
Sugar
got
side
bulldozed.
up in the milk. It softens it up, and then you can enjoy it.
Yes.
But
But
or
it's
you
not
want to go
too
sugar
soggy.
side down.
I do
get the
sugar
milk
side.
getting a little. Not with all of them, with a couple, because you have
Okay.
to like sugar up the milk a little
Let's
bit.
look at this foul again. Okay, maybe he did.
I mean,
See, that's so hard.
Come on.
That's why
I don't
James
know.
Harden is one of the smartest basketball minds in the league because he can sell anything.
I mean, he's still selling his eye
Absolutely
thing. I don't know,
anything.
man. I guess his
eye is
it's
pretty
starting
jacked.
to swell up.
Yeah, that thing looks
I
terrible.
really just don't think it's safe for him to be out on the
Me
floor.
either. If he's
Well,
going
for
like
somebody
this
who's never been to the eye doctor,
inside-
you're apparently an expert on optics. Like,
James Harden
look at
is
that, Chris
wincing in all
Paul.
sorts
Chris
of pain.
Paul is like, come on, Chris. Look at
Dan
this.
does not eat his cereal with milk, so you just
With
dry,
water or dry?
just dry out of the box, just full fisting, just nom, nom, nom. Like, what are we doing? Do you use a bowl? Like, do you eat out of a bag? Like, do you remember when, I don't know if you guys had this, kids at your like elementary school who would bring ramen to school for lunch and
Oh,
then just
yeah.
eat it dry?
Yep.
Yeah.
They'd like shake it up in the bag
Yeah,
with the seasoning.
Yep. Have you ever tried it? It's actually
No.
not bad.
I've tried it. And I mean, it's probably going to be the reason I get some sort of cancer later in life. But,
Tried it too many times.
well, I mean,
Whoa.
What are we doing? A little,
here we go. Well, is that is
But
some
with
Nene action
Nene
going on?
and
Little
Draymond,
Nene?
and I think they just got double
They
text.
just got poked.
Draymond throws his hands up in the air in dismay and just looking at the crowd,
There's
trying
that
to
smile.
A lot of
get the
passive-aggressive
crowd to
smiling
There's the
going on.
smile.
get into it. Wow, that is a beard by that gentleman back there. Let's see
What
what,
do we got
happens here
here?
on the replay. Okay, so Nene kind of just arm locked Draymond. He's a large man.
I would not get into a beef with Nene.
And then,
Remember how Nene just got rid of his last name?
no,
Yeah, but now it's back.
isn't it? I don't know what his last name is.
Because it's like on all of the depth charts that I've been looking at, I'm like, wait, Nene has a last name? Like, I didn't think it was the same Nene.
So he's like Cher or Prince.
Don't you dare compare anybody to
I
Prince.
guess that's a subject for you. Okay. All right. Well, we're going back to action. No lingering anything with the officials after that, whatever the hell that was. Warriors have the.
Oh, well, Nene isn't even the most famous Nene.
It's Nene Leaks, isn't it?
Nene Leaks
Yeah.
is the first one that comes
Real
up.
Housewives of
So
Atlanta.
this, I'm reading a very long explanation on this whole thing. It's similar to why Yao Ming had Yao on his jersey.
Okay.
Oh,
And Curry Laws went up. I'd be.
Almost went in.
Yeah. Damn.
Nene Hilario.
End of the third quarter,
Hilario.
Golden State
I don't
up
know.
82-75. It's a lot of passive aggressive smiling
There's the smile.
going
You didn't even
around.
point at the smile.
James
Steph
Harden's
is.
been squinting all game. Can't the lights? He's sensitive to the light right now. His eye looks like it got poked 5 times.
Yeah, so you're right. On the box score, it's Hilario. But this news story from 2003 is, I remember this when this happened, legally changed his name to a single word, Nene. But when did it come back?
Good question. These are unanswered questions here.
He needs to change his name into an unpronounceable symbol.
James Harden leads the Rockets with 16
Just an
points in
emoji?
20 minutes.
That would be that. Although
My
I mean,
name is the, I don't know, the thumbs up emoji.
I guess Prince hated social media, but like that would be
Yeah.
like the next level Prince move to be like, it's a symbol. Now it's an emoji.
I mean,
the Prince symbol is an emoji.
he
now,
did
so,
just go
like,
by a symbol for a while. Like he full on didn't have a name for a minute. So, for the Warriors, we've got Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant leading the way in scoring. KD up to 20 points. Klay's got 19 despite going 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. Him and KD have both taken 15 shots from the field.
I
Both
love
pretty-
this answer on Reddit. Going back to the Nene question, someone said his older brother's name is Whip.
God, that is a very specific joke.
Wow, I don't get it.
Watch me whip, watch me Nene.
Ah, yikes, that's unfortunate.
Because it's not too
I
specific.
kind of blocked that out of my. Dan
I'm
Shed.
just memeing over here.
Dan Shed, go Rockets off to bed for reals. If Rockets lose, I'm going to send my little ankle biter dogs to attack the refs.
That's
Well,
aggressive.
that is definitely a choice.
Dan's a little tired.
I just, maybe, if it happens, we'll say we didn't know anything. So if it comes to that, I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. This whole thing never
So the Rockets are minus 19 with Harden on the floor.
Yeah. Well,
That's rough.
when
Minus 21 with Capella.
Capella,
That's
what he signed that contract this past offseason? And I think it's a 4-year deal. I don't remember how much. I mean, they think they maxed him out, but 1 year into that deal, postseason play, not looking great.
Iman Shumpert's terrible shot aside,
Well-
the Rockets are +5 with him on the floor.
That's
the kind of night Houston's
getting
having.
minutes on
In his
playoff
5 minutes.
games.
5 minutes.
Why are they
Jesus.
not using
Why
this
aren't they
more?
winning?
They've had him in for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We +10. Like,
It's
Iman
just math.
Shumpert, Gerald Green, Austin Rivers got 17 minutes of action, 11 points off the bench. Although
this
it
is
says-
very much an 82-67 game if you're looking at the stats.
Yeah, it's not as
The
close
Warriors still only have 5 turnovers. 2 of them from Draymond Green.
Jeez.
Is that real?
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that. When the Warriors are playing their best basketball, they're not turning over the ball.
Well,
Like
the
Garrett,
Rockets certainly are. They have 13 turnovers.
Yeah,
Like
and most
5 of those came on the first 5 possessions.
Yeah, because
of
in
the
the
game.
first half
like-
they had 11. So I mean, they've had 3 in the second half. So they're kind of taking control of the ball a bit more. But it's
Chris
still not
Paul and
resulting
James
in
Harden
points.
combined for 8 of those turnovers.
Yeah, there were a lot of
Not
questionable
good.
passes where James Harden's just dishing it out and there's nobody there. But it also speaks to Rockets don't have a lot of depth on this team, and so
No.
the guys that they do have, they need to get a lot of production out of them, like Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, Clint Capella, Austin Rivers, supposedly. Like you don't have a lot of people you can turn to like
Yeah.
the Warriors have. They don't
That's
have a
why-
Sean Livingston. They don't have a Andre Iguodala,
Yeah, like
Jonah Drebko.
as much as I'd love to see the Rockets go to the finals, like last year's team was the one that should have gone to the finals. I don't want
Yeah.
to see this Rockets team go to the
Right.
finals because they're not deserving of it. And then when it comes down to it, it's exactly what we're talking about. The Warriors have depth, and that counts in the playoffs.
And this isn't even the best depth that they've had in their championship run. My God,
That's
James
your meme.
Harden is. Yeah.
That's your meme right there.
Let's just wash this game from my memory because I was injured and I sold it really well. Like I get that his eye is bothering him, but to the point where you need to cover your eyes because the lights are blinding. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm sure he's in considerable pain.
go to
Like-
the locker room, though.
Yeah, like why are you out there?
Well, I mean, it's also it's like what Jasmine said. It's showy. Like
Yeah.
they're getting the doors blown off here, and he's got to sit on the
Yeah,
sideline.
but is that your thought process? Like, oh,
for James Harden? I
need an
think so.
excuse?
I think so because James Harden knows he's going to catch the blame, even if he's playing with one eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to sell the optics of it. No pun intended. Of like, this is it. But like the next game's in Houston, right?
Yes. Next
I think
two
they
games will be in
win
Houston.
one of the Houston games.
Yeah, I think the Houston crowd, Houston fans will bring it in Toyota Center and hopefully help out this very.
And it's only a
misshapen
9-point
team.
game, so like,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely time left, and if James Harden is able to come back in this fourth quarter and go off like he's known to do, then that's great, and they get the one game that they need to get in Golden State. But game one was that game that they needed to get.
mean,
they
they've-
had it,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
referees aside, like they should have won that game.
they've certainly
Fans are
missed
calling
their-
for a travel on Eric Gordon. Didn't see it. 84-77 Golden State. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Houston Rockets are on a 10-2 run in the last 5.5 minutes, which doesn't seem like it.
No.
Just seems like, the Rockets have kind of gotten on runs, but then it's just dispelled by a Steph Curry 3, although he did just turn the ball over.
Now this is like, because Rivers has missed some shots. There's been some serious missed
Was
shots in
that
this
Gerald
game.
Green in the corner?
Okay.
Like this is what they need to
4-3.
do because now we're a 4-point
Now we're at
game.
a 4-point game.
But like some of these, like Austin Rivers just kind of heaving up a shot from the corner, missing a 3. Like it's 84-83.
Yeah.
If so. And we saw the Clippers kind of play the Warriors a little close in some of those games, and then the Warriors just pulled away like a getaway car with
Sean
4
Livingston
minutes left to go in the
nails the
game.
jumper.
So you're playing on the brink here
Yeah.
if you're Houston.
Like,
You
literally-
cannot make any mistakes.
I literally feel like 5 minutes ago, this game was like about to be a 20-point blowout. I mean, it might as
like
well
that.
be. Like
you can't do that.
You just got bested by Steph Curry on defense.
Like look at
What?
this.
and
Oh
Sean
my
Livingston for the
gosh.
feed and dunk and timeout.
That's
Mike
what you can't
D'Antoni.
have.
Yeah.
And that's why
You can't
Houston's
get
going to lose
very-
this game.
Can't get it down to
Little
4
margin for
points
error.
and then just give up. Like, come on.
And of course it's Austin Rivers.
doing too much. That's what that was. He got a
So
little,
soft, he melted into the floor.
He got a little
Like,
gung ho there. That's 100% what happened. And that's kind of what he's been known to do. He kind of gets ahead of himself and he feels himself a bit too much, and then he gets out there and just gums it up for his team.
No, such a little margin for error. I'm very disappointed in Houston.
I mean,
You're
It's
shooting
that thing.
43% from the floor.
The sad thing about it for Houston is that, if they lose the series, which I'm betting that they do, what do they do this offseason? Their money is tied up in Chris Paul for the next 5 years, like forever.
that's
Like
a
Chris
rough
Paul
one.
is going to be making like $45 million when he's like 38 years old.
I mean,
You
good
don't
for
want
Chris
to pay
Paul,
him
but-
that much money when he's 38. He's already deteriorating every
It's an
season.
interesting question because we've talked about in some of these streams, some of the most interesting storylines in the playoffs this year is what is going to happen to these teams when the offseason comes because they have so many players who are going to be free agents.
Yeah.
But the Rockets are kind of not in that position, but for them it might be an unfavorable position even to some of the teams that have, like the Warriors have Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant potentially leaving. But the Rockets have their guys locked up, but is it a good situation to be in moving forward?
Right. You've got your money locked up in Chris Paul, Clint Capella, James Harden, who should probably be due for a deal in a couple years. Where else do you get production from? At this point, like you said, you've locked yourself into this big three that you've created yourself. Now you need to find players around them that are going to actually be consistent and help in playoff situations, not the regular season. You need guys who, I think Draymond actually said it maybe last year, some podcast or something. He said that teams that are trying to contend for a championship need guys that are 15-game guys, not 82-game guys. Guys who can play in the playoffs, not regular season dudes. And there's a lot of dudes in the league who are regular season basketball players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook is a regular season basketball player.
The regular season basketball
Yeah.
player.
For 3 straight years, he has averaged a triple-double in the regular season and has amounted to 2 first-round exits and a blown 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals. The Houston Rockets need to build that team with guys who have playoff experience and can help knock down shots when James Harden has one eyeball.
Knowing what we know now about Russell Westbrook and his career path after Kevin Durant left, is Kevin Durant less of a snake for leaving?
I don't think, in OKC fans' eyes, no. Like, they still think that. I think that, I don't know. I honestly don't.
Because if you know this, like if you know Russell Westbrook, because I assume Kevin Durant knew him pretty well and knew his play style very well. If you have the foresight to see and I'm not sure this was his decision-making process, but if you have the foresight to see, okay, maybe this player is not someone who I'm going to be able to team up with and have success with in the playoffs. That's just a smart decision to make to go to a team that you can have more success with.
Sure. In the practical way, sure. But here's the thing. He was on a team that, again, blew a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals. They could have ran it back for one more season to see if it works. He could have just signed a 1-year deal. If it doesn't work, then you're out.
Yeah.
I think the optics of you joining a team that just won, it was the year that they won 73 games or whatever. Yeah, they lost in the finals to LeBron, but still, you joined the best team in the league that did not need you.
But he made them better.
Sure, he
That's
made
the
them better.
thing. Like
but
he joined the best team in the league, a generationally phenomenal roster,
And become
made them
arguably the
better.
best player.
That to me is so underrated. I don't think Durant's a snake at all for leaving, because it also ushered in this era of athletes looking out for themselves, and we've seen this across sports. Football players do the same. Like Antonio Brown was dragged all over the place.
yeah.
And the only reason he was because he had the audacity to say, pay me what I am worth. And that's essentially what Durant said. That's what all of these guys are saying. So I don't think he was a snake to begin with. And the fact that he joined the best team and made them better, that's the narrative here. But it's more interesting when we talk about it the other way.
Don't mean to digress, but we do have a commenter, Des Dog. What's up? Thanks for hanging out with us. He says, should the Bulls draft Zion or Ja Morant?
Zion.
Well, I think if you're going with those two, I'm assuming you think that the Bulls have the number 1 pick, so you're going to pick Zion. I don't think Ja Morant is going to become the number 1 pick, and I don't think that the Bulls would draft him if they did have the number 1 pick. That doesn't seem like a practical decision.
No, I think, whatever team has the top overall pick, unless they're the Suns, they're going to draft Zion.
They're going to draft another big man.
That's what's best for your business, having him to sell tickets.
Yeah.
That alone in his first year.
Chicago does not need help selling tickets because they rank in the top 3, at least this past season and previous seasons, in attendance numbers, which is baffling to me, but they're still living off that MJ lore. So
And the fact that it's a huge city, that helps
Yeah,
it's a
too.
big market.
it's something to do, I guess.
But like it's the honest factor that we were talking about earlier. Like if you get Zion, that's somebody you can build around more than just on the court. Like
Yeah.
you can have him. Maybe Zion's the reason you get a new stadium.
Yeah, and in
So-
a more practical area that is accessible by transit
Yeah.
lines,
Yeah.
Chicago. Let me tell you, the United Center is not an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
It's terrible. There's not a train that stops off there. There's not a bus that takes you directly to the United Center. At least
No.
that I.
And then they
that's
block off all the
convenient.
streets for like
Yeah.
2 blocks.
So
Yeah.
you have to Uber there, and that's expensive. And then when you Uber back, you have to meet at a specific point that's like a mile away from the stadium with everybody else out there who's just looking for their Uber driver. It's not great. But again, maybe it's that way at other arenas. I haven't been to every arena in the country.
Well, I don't know. A lot of them usually have public transit
Yeah.
near the arena.
At least in Phoenix, the Suns arena, there's a parking garage literally across the street.
Like the Hornets.
James Harden nails a 3, by the way, 92-89, Golden State up, 7 minutes to go in the fourth.
Charlotte has 1 train line. Chicago has, I don't know, 7, 8,
Yeah.
something like that.
Nope.
Charlotte's
Butters
1
not
train line stops right outside the Spectrum Center.
That's smart.
Like, it's
Direct
just-
tie-in to like get to the stadium.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
these games.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing in Minneapolis. Like, there's 1 train line. Well, now there's 3 that go off to, like, the college campus. But there was 1 that went from Mall of America, was 1 point, to Target Center, Target Field was the end point. And in between there, you had to stop off at the Metrodome. Like, that's the way to make your public transportation.
Ooh. Did he make that? Oh, it got
Oh,
wedgie.
we
We
got a
got
stuck ball, stuck ball.
Wedgie.
I don't think I've seen that on a dunk.
I've never seen a wedgie on a dunk. Andre Iguodala tried to go for the dunk.
He knows what he did.
Got
Look at that
kind
face.
of blocked by Clint Capella, but it also just kind of got stuck in the rim, which is also called a wedgie.
Oop, that's all Iggy.
Yeah, that's
I'm not giving
unfortunate.
any of
But they
that to
called
Clint.
a
A foul.
foul on Clint Capella, so that's odd.
And once again, a 92-89 game.
You know
Like,
what? Daryl Morey is just keeping a tab of all this, and after the game, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna mail this directly to the league, and we're gonna
Nerd.
complain and complain and complain, and nothing's
Nerd
gonna change.
alert.
Why? Because does it really matter?
Look at that matchup. Dame and the Joker.
Thick dude, Nikola Jokic, love him, captain of Team Thick in the NBA. Yeah,
Team sick.
him and Luca.
Luca.
That's
Luca with 2 C's.
That's an NBA jam right there. Lineup. Him and Luca. That's like probably the worst NBA jam lineup, but I'd play with it.
Nikola and Luca.
Clint Capella with the ball down low, trying to body Kevin
Come
Durant.
on.
Didn't really work.
Dude, this is like a
And
wrestling
I would
match.
say he has a couple pounds on Kevin Durant, and he still couldn't. Or maybe they're the same frame. I can't really tell.
No.
Can you imagine having the same frame as Kevin Durant?
No.
And not being like a pinky's worth as talented as Kevin Durant? Like, I'd be demoralized. James Harden gets double teamed. Clint Capella tried to end Kevin Durant's life, and it still didn't work.
Come on.
KD with the foul. From my perspective, he went straight up. That didn't look like he got fouled.
Yeah.
Wow.
He went straight up
On
and down
first
with
glance, that looked
That's a trash
clean.
call.
I need to
Let's see if
the
he
replay.
got
Let's
any
look
of
at
his
the
hand or
replay.
anything like that. But
All right, comes around the screen, and
He
okay,
grabs
that's a
him.
foul.
He grabs
That's
him.
a foul. Grabbed him in the back with his jersey.
Oh, come on.
Your
Like a
pinky
cat.
got all up underneath his jersey.
still on a play like that, I totally respect the not getting out of the way to
damn.
avoid getting posterized.
Did y'all see
Oh, yeah.
that free throw by Clint Capella?
No.
It just
No, but I see
here's
that
the
it-
rim.
Saw
and
his
it was
reaction
just,
though.
like,
I noticed that they still have 89 points, so
yeah,
it didn't work out.
that was
so
not
well.
pretty. That was not a good sight. And see, that's the
Yes,
thing.
thunder sticks.
The small margin
God.
of error.
Let's see.
Like it is
Oh,
a,
his free throw. He
it's
made
a
it that time, but
93,
he,
91 game if he makes that first one. The small margin of
instead
error.
of just going straight up, he like goes like this and then comes back around and then shoots it. That's just a lot of unnecessary movement that needs to be fixed.
We've got ourselves a ball game here.
Steph Curry unleashes,
Somehow.
lock and loaded, drains it.
I mean, even if it's
And
a 6-point
typical
game,
Steph
like
Curry fashion. 6-point game, 6.5 to go. in
how
the fourth.
frustrating must it be to be a Rockets fan watching this game?
I mean, probably as frustrating as it was to watch game one. Steph Curry with a quiet 18 points, which I
Oh.
guess if you're Golden State, that's kind of what you want from him. And
Nope, that's
nope, nothing.
foul.
Foul.
That high
on-
double screen or double team,
Yeah.
I mean, on
E40.
Harden is
E40 is in attendance.
somewhat effective.
E40 shout
He
out.
had like a plaid gold and blue hat on.
Let's get a
looked
let's get
very-
a shot of the other side of the other end of the court. Need some E40 in my life.
Dang, they're not going to show him. He looked fantastic. All right, here we go back in action. Houston with the ball. Nope, no foul. All right. James Harden, step back
Oh.
three.
Gotta get that, man.
Doesn't really have it tonight to put the team on his back so far. There's 5 minutes left. A lot can happen. But from what we've seen, things like that you can't have happen like an Andre Iguodala.
I'm excited for someone to put together a points per eyeball thing with Harden after tonight.
It's like the LeBron with the headband without the headband.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, which James Harden do you prefer? Cycloptic James Harden or both functional
That was a
eyes?
pretty feed by Draymond.
It was.
That was a great find.
And this is
8-point
why the
game,
Warriors are just so
timeouts.
unfair to watch. Because it's just literally a couple seconds ago, a 93-90 game.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's 98-90. And it's just effortless.
Yeah, it's
And we
not what you
forget
want
this.
with Houston. When that just goes back to what we were talking about and the lack of depth that they have. They don't have anyone. I mean, where the hell's Chris Paul been? You're supposed to be the second, best player on this team, and I don't know.
He's had 8 points tonight, 5 assists.
Dude. When James Harden is down, you need to be the one to come in and pick up the load, and that's not happening. When Kevin Durant has a crap game, you've got Steph Curry coming in, draining shots. You've got Klay Thompson scoring 20 points. You've got Andre Iguodala putting down putback dunks. Like, they don't have an issue with that. But when James Harden is not playing well, Houston has no identity. And that's kind of what we've seen this year, last year. Like, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's pretty much the big part of their team. But I still feel like their role players are really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if you can limit the role players on the Rockets and just let Harden get his, you're probably going to win the game.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, they haven't really had to do much to the role players. They've gotten looks. Like, there have been times where Austin Rivers has gotten some looks. Clint Capella's missed some shots down low, but they're just not finishing.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to get the foul, and it's not happening.
It just says a lot about the inability to construct this team in a way to build with all the money they have tied up in 3 guys.
Yeah.
I'd be scared if I was a Rockets fan for the future.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of funny considering the analytics-driven guy that Daryl Morey is. He didn't count for the fact that you still need talent on the floor.
Yeah.
It's like $113 million that I was looking at, tied up in the 4 that you mentioned. Well, you mentioned Harden,
Capella and Paul.
and then throw PJ Tucker into there.
Oh, my God.
And then Iman Shumpert's $5 million, theoretically.
Oh, is
That's
he on a player
$113
option?
million. And, like, not all of those players are worth the $113 million.
Yeah.
Like, if you said, here's $113 million, go build a core in the
PJ
NBA,
Tucker.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker's nowhere, and Iman Shumpert are nowhere near that
Right.
core.
Yeah.
Like, not even Chris Paul. Like, if I'm building a core, like it's a game on Facebook or something, Chris Paul's not all in
your
there.
second guy, yeah.
Harden, yeah. But then that goes back to the whole thing where how hard is it to build around Harden and his talents?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen different iterations of this Rockets team swapping parts in and out. Like, at what point are they going to figure it out? And it's never the right part. It's always, let's try Dwight Howard. That's not going to, let's try Melo. And we all saw how that ended.
Yeah.
Like, that's why last year's team was a team that should have gone to the finals. And I won't accept watching this one go to the finals.
That makes an interesting point. Should Carmelo Anthony be on this team right now? Would he help the Rockets at this point?
No, I don't.
Like, I don't know. Could he
He helped the
just-
entertainment value.
Yeah, he would definitely help. If Carmelo
He'd help
Anthony,
the meme ability.
if Carmelo Anthony could wear a hoodie while playing basketball, I'd watch it.
They could amend the rules.
So if Carmelo Anthony could play an NBA game with a hoodie on in an empty gym with no one guarding him, yeah, I'd watch it.
Sure, all of his mixtapes are super fun to watch. But
What if it's game 7 of this series and it cuts to the tunnel?
he's
And it's
warming
just a
up?
back shot of there's Melo with the hoodie up. They've changed the rules.
That's Melo's music.
It's Melo. Melo comes
It's his
out,
intro song.
has the game of his life, and then retires before the finals. We just get one more good Melo game, and he's out.
I mean, does he retire? Like, what does he do? Do we think he's gonna
He's
be on a
unofficially
team next
retired.
season? Like,
He's like retired with an asterisk.
and another turn. Oh,
So,
foul. Okay, foul on Curry.
Speaking of players who are retired but not retired, Elton Brand, GM of the Sixers, is technically not retired.
Seriously.
Yeah, and he has even discussed the theoretical idea
Of
of trading
suiting up.
himself.
What team is he on right now?
Well, he's not on
Or,
any team, but he
like-
could theoretically sign himself
And then
as the
trade.
GM to the Sixers to use himself as like a salary dump in a trade.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any
Wow.
loophole that like prevents that from
You
happening.
know who's going to do that next? LeBron James.
I mean,
LeBron James will do that 5 years from
We've
now.
had player coaches I think it's been a minute since we've had
PJ
a player
Tucker for the
coach.
3, no good.
But
Rebound.
The idea
Golden
of a player
State.
GM, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's what LeBron's he's on track for.
LeBron would never trade himself, though, because he values himself far too much.
That's true. Do we think we've got 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Houston's down 8. Do we see a comeback?
they're within reach, but
Yeah.
it feels so out of reach.
Right? It feels like they're like moving at such a slow pace and not putting points on the board quick enough. Like that 90-94 score that they had, that was the perfect opportunity. And the fact that they have not scored anything since.
Well, even that felt like a gap. Like,
And
we're
it
like,
felt like
oh,
a
it's
really long time ago.
94-90.
Yeah.
But there's no way that this game is that close.
Yeah, no.
It's
it
like
also-
a 94-90, and like in dog years, it's like 120
Yeah.
to 93.
And the fact
Right.
that we haven't gotten over 100 points yet is actually also weird,
Well,
considering these two teams.
Kevin Durant's looking
Fade
to change
away.
that.
Ooh,
Ooh,
nope.
That was
See, and they're capitalized, and that's what Houston hasn't done. Like, every single time they get an opportunity like this, they screw it up. Like, look.
And another
Like,
turnover.
what the hell?
No, they called a foul.
It's a foul.
On Houston, I guess. Yeah. Well, they're shaking hands over
It's,
there.
and Golden State's in the
State bench.
bonus. So, like, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, Houston's just killing themselves.
That was
Like, that's unnecessary
Yeah,
in that situation.
yeah. Why are you? Also, why are we feeding the ball to like?
and,
I get that
and
James
why
Harden's
is Klay
hurt,
Thompson getting a 50-50 ball
Yeah.
over Clint Capella?
and I get that James Harden is hurt and he's not trying to force anything, but you are still this team. Drive to the hoop because 9 times out of 10, your ass is gonna get fouled.
Yeah.
Because you're either gonna sell it,
Yeah.
or you're actually gonna get fouled, or they're not gonna foul you and you're just gonna get a layup. Like one of those three things is going to happen all of the time. It also popped up on the screen that the Rockets are 1 of 9 in the playoffs against Golden State and Oracle. So I guess this isn't surprising how this has gone for the past 2 games for them.
It's not-
And they'll be what 0-7. Scott Foster.
Scott Foster's streak continues.
Which I guess hasn't.
Scott Foster's undefeated.
There haven't been as many calls, I would say, this game. Hopefully, I mean,
Yeah, I felt like this
that are
was
questionable.
a fairly officiated game for the
Yeah.
most part.
But I think that also Houston wasn't trying to.
See, what in
Why
God's
are we
name
drawing
are we
plays
doing
for
this
Clint
for?
Capella?
And we're drawing like the dumbest
And
alley
here
oop
comes
plays,
Steph Curry with a 3, readjusts, and they were lucky that did not. Okay, but
and then offensive rebound.
he
Houston
sends it out
deserves
to
lose
KD,
this game.
swings it to Curry, drives, kicks it back out, swings
See, that's
to
like
Clay.
Iguodala is so important. That offensive rebound
And
is
easy
everything.
dunk for Draymond Green, 102-90
This is
Golden
just
State.
frustrating to
That's
watch.
unfortunate.
Houston going belly up as fast as they have in the last like 2 minutes of this game. It's embarrassing, and they deserve every awful thing that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's
Maybe it's because it's like midnight and I'm just crabby, but I'm like, I'm out on
Yeah,
Houston.
it is so late. I mean, I know we've talked about this, but far past my bedtime.
yeah, we know. I can tell you're getting.
The Cocoa
He's getting
Pebbles
hazy
are
eyes
so
over there.
tired.
He's tired as hell
Glassy
over here
eye.
and trying to
And
keep the glue
hungry. Yeah,
together.
the Cocoa Pebbles.
That was your fault. I asked
The
if you wanted
Wingstop
hot
was
wings, and you said
pretty
no. Timeout on the floor, 102-92 Golden State. Replay on
Like, look at
the
this.
Draymond
Like-
clean dunk.
Oh,
Swings
this
into
is
Chris
yeah,
Paul.
that's Chris Paul.
Chris Paul kind of
Chris
just
Paul
shoves
went
his,
into it. Chris
shoves
Paul
his
went
arm into
into
him,
it, like-
trying to get a last laugh in there. Chris Paul, let me tell you,
I don't know. Maybe Chris Paul should like make some buckets, and then we won't be having this
Chris
conversation.
Paul has done more to hurt this team than to help it in these 2 games.
He's done diddly.
The 2 technicals in game 1, the second which got him tossed, and he hasn't done jack on the offensive end of the floor in this game. And
No.
just, earlier in the game, he, was arguing with the refs, wasn't as clear or as apparent as the first game, but now he's trying to swing Draymond as he's coming down from his dunk. Like, come on, let's just play. There's time left. This isn't something that you can't overcome. Like, come on, let's.
Well, now it might be something they can't overcome. But like this game, like the swinging at Draymond when he's dunking, like whatever. Like Draymond's gonna Draymond. Like,
Yeah, just let him do it. Just whatever.
but it's the previous 2-3 minutes in which the Rockets fumbled every single opportunity that was given to them. Like 2 alley-oop plays to Capella.
They could be up by like 10 right now
Like this
if
is
they got those little opportunities.
Yeah. Well, and if they just had if they were making better plays on the offensive end of the floor.
this
like,
game is a lot closer than it should be, but it's also not,
You
which
had-
is That's the
Thompson.
Warriors.
So
So
performance by Klay Thompson.
since this game,
21 games or 21 points, 13 in game
late.
1.
21 games worth
21
of stats
games.
in one game.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson.
since this game does
And
seem to be a lot closer than it
That
should be.
shot
Fine.
looks like it might just do it in for Houston with KD jumper 104-92 Houston
Do we think
or Golden State.
the Eastern Conference has a better chance against the Warriors than
Yes,
we
Barracuda
kinda
Fire.
think?
We can see these chats. We are not allowed to stream the game live, so that's why you can't see the game. You're more than welcome to watch the game on TNT with us and listen along to hear what we have to say, but we cannot stream the actual game that's happening because we would get sued by the NBA. So, there you have it.
We do not have their express
We don't
written
have
consent.
We don't have the rights to that. We need to contact someone. So if you have an in at the NBA and you want to hit us up, we can make something happen. But unfortunately, we can't do that.
Like,
That's.
I mean,
He knew that was just
he
like,
gets
damn.
fouled, but like, I don't know. Also, his eyes look awful.
Yeah. But again, like, come on.
Like, good God.
You know, James Harden's beard is. We haven't talked about his beard at all.
It's amazing.
It's interesting.
It's incredible.
How do you think eating soup is for him?
I don't think he eats a lot of soup, but
Yeah, I don't think he eats a lot of cheesy food or anything like that.
I mean, he could just be really good.
So,
He's the MVP.
Like the
of
issue
very-
I have is that
beard
it's
clean.
not shaped.
A very underrated aspect of Harden's beard is how high up his cheekbones the beard line
Yes,
is.
Yep.
it's literally up to his nose. Like he
And
looks like
also,
Santa.
it is so full around this area. Like a lot of guys,
All you literally see are his lips.
like me,
Like, that's it.
cannot really fill in
Yeah,
this.
you get
this
a gap.
Yeah.
A little canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
At what point does James Harden usurp Snoop Dogg as the hymns spokesperson? It's gonna happen.
that's a good question.
When
Jeez,
he's,
come on.
When he's old.
I guess, straggling.
Kevin Durant
for,
with
for
another
money.
jumper. Kevin Durant's kind of taken over here in the fourth quarter, 106-94. He's trying to put this one away so that they can go to Houston with a 2-0 lead, up to 24 points, 9 of 21 from the field for KD. He doesn't feel like the typical Kevin Durant performance in the sense that he's like every stop down the floor is like KD.
Yeah,
KD.
I mean,
Yeah.
it felt like that in the first half, but
Yeah.
it's since
been very
gone to other players.
sporadic.
And he's missed some shots.
And it's like we have a 12-point lead for the Warriors here, and we forget that, Steph Curry had his finger basically yanked off of his hand in the first quarter, which
I
is,
forgot about that. Yeah.
and it's
That was
doesn't
this game.
matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
PJ Tucker with 9 points in the game.
God knows if PJ Tucker had his finger pulled out of his hand, the Rockets would just collapse like a house of cards.
Yeah, and it did seem to impact Curry's shooting. Like he's 2 for 8
Yeah.
from beyond
Yep.
the arc tonight, and the Warriors still, like, it got close at certain points, but it still seems like they've pretty much won this one.
Yeah.
And it's
They
still
haven't-
2.5 minutes left, but
Haven't given up the lead.
And
like,
Curry will have I don't know when their game 3 is. I feel like it may be in 2 days to
I believe it's
count Curry.
Saturday night.
So Saturday.
Got
Wow,
some
that's a
time.
lot of time to heal that finger for him to.
It is indeed Saturday
That's
night.
wild, the amount of time that they get in between travel changes. So he'll have some time to heal his finger, and hopefully James Harden will be good to go for a game in Houston. But, I said this earlier. I think I was talking to Carm, who is notably not here.
Rest in peace.
We were
just killed
discussing.
Carm.
He's walking around Oakland.
We were discussing how
Wilson,
far,
who was defending Carm's honor earlier, just killed him off
right?
mercilessly.
Like, I don't want to pick on Carm. He's not here.
He just turned off his access to his badge. He can't get into the office anymore.
I think that I said this with Carm. I don't think this series is going past 5 games. Like, I wanted to
Nah.
say a sweep and be super rebellious, but everyone in the who talks basketball and NBA is like, this is a 7-game series. This is
No.
the series, the end all series. I'm like, really? Because game 1 was about the height of it, and now we've gotten this bum performance from Houston.
Yeah.
And you've got Draymond Green just kind of,
On the extra
throwing
pass,
stuff up.
no less.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
5
Chris-
is a healthy number for this series.
Chris Paul hasn't done anything. It looked like he traveled. I don't know what the hell
Oh,
that
he
move was.
absolutely
That was a very
traveled.
slow Euro step and also very odd.
That's like the dad at the court who's trying to do the Euro step.
Yeah, 100%.
5 games. That's healthy.
5 games, yeah.
One in
I'm going back
Houston,
and
and
forth
that's it.
between 5 and 6, but
I don't know. Unless they really get a spark. The only way it goes 6, I think, is if they win that first game in Houston, and then they have a chance of winning the second.
They need to win both of those games.
Yeah.
There's no way that they. I mean, obviously
They're not winning in Oracle if it.
Yeah,
No.
if they only win one game, there's in Houston, there's no coming back. It's over. Which is unfortunate because then it's like everyone felt like this was going to be, if there was a team to stop Golden State from another championship, it was going to be Houston. And now that Golden State potentially looks like they're going to move on, if everything keeps going in this direction for Houston, who's going to stop them?
Yeah. The Western Conference Finals is going to be really boring.
Well, I really hope Portland gets there just because
I would love to see Dame in a Western Conference Finals.
The Dame Lillard spotlight, I want that
Yeah.
on him. Like, they're going to get swept into the sun, but the fact that we're going to have him in the conference finals, I like that.
I don't know. I like the Nuggets, though. Like, it's going to be boring either way, I think. But I would like to see a young Nuggets team kind of defy the odds because everybody kind of wrote them off like, oh, they're a great regular season team, but just too young. If they can make the Western Conference Finals.
Do you think they're going to regress next year? Because the way that I'd sign for the Nuggets getting there if that was like, this is their arrival moment.
Maybe.
But then they need to sustain it. I don't know if they can sustain it to where we're next
Steph Curry
year.
just dunked the ball. That's not what you
With
want.
his busted fingers. Oh,
Andre Iguodala is confused. Who, me? There was a Steph Curry Davidson jersey in the crowd.
A
Abdul,
lot
no,
of
we
deep
can't.
cuts.
We can't show the game. We're not allowed to. We don't have the rights to do that. Sorry. Just letting you know. Everyone else in the chat, no, we cannot show the game. There is 1:20 left in the game. Golden State is up 108-100. PJ Tucker is now limping. I don't know what happened to him, but he's about to shoot some free throws.
How many pairs of
game
shoes is
happened to
PJ
him.
Tucker on tonight?
I think this is his second pair of shoes because I think he was wearing. I could be wrong. I feel like he was wearing like red shoes or something earlier. And he nails the first one. I think he said the most he's worn in a game is like 6. And that's not like it's like, oh, I'm changing one pair of shoes every quarter. It's like, that's
Like,
what do you?
it's a high ratio of change.
Yeah. How often are you?
I
Like, do you
change
have the
my shoes like once a day, and that's like to go to work and then come home.
But my other question is like, do you have the shoes on the sideline with you? Like, because it's not like you go to the locker room very
Do you
often.
have a shoe runner?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't understand.
See, look, Houston's presented with another opportunity to get back in this game, and they're going to flub it somehow.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to under a minute left in the game, and
Like, get a defensive
Golden
stop,
State's just kind of running out the clock.
which is next to impossible, it seems, from watching
Capella's
everything
playing
else.
some tight defense on
And
Steph,
look at it right
but
there.
you know,
Oh, see,
All right.
look, opportunity.
And-
he,
okay, we
get the rebound.
Harden bringing the ball up the court. You need a quick basket here.
I swear to God, don't give it.
Chris Paul with the 3, no good. Rebound, Golden State,
Nope.
Klay Thompson. All right. 40
God, that
seconds
looked
left.
like that was going to be another play where it's an alley-oop to Capella, and I was going to lose my mind.
Yeah, that.
Like, Harden gets up to the line, and then Capella's sprinting to the rim. I'm
I
just
mean,
like, oh, my
Golden
God.
State did a really good job of containing James Harden, despite the fact. I mean, yes, he's technically injured with his eye issue, but
Blind.
it felt like almost
It's like
every
Mr.
time.
Magoo out there. It's
Every
like,
time down the
jeez.
floor, they're throwing a double team at him.
That's why. So maybe those lobs to Clint Capella, like he actually thinks
thought
he's
he
shooting
was
3
taking
pointers.
a shot.
But yeah, it seemed like he gets past half court and a double team is just swarming James Harden, and
Yeah.
Clint Capella's fouled out. So
Oh,
that's
well,
great.
no more alley-oops to him, so I don't know what the game plan is going to be.
Alley oops to Chris Paul.
Yeah, that's
Get Kenneth Freed in the game.
Kenneth Freed, Nene,
Get Freed
Gerald
and
Green. He can jump really high.
Freed and Nene. Get them both down on either side of the rim, and you just don't know which one's going to dunk it.
That's a great game plan. You should be the GM of the Rockets.
Well, I'm not into analytics.
He's not a nerd.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a nerd.
41 seconds here. This is all but over. Golden State's going to go into Houston with a 2-0 lead.
Man.
Game 3 on Saturday. The series that we were all excited to watch is now dwindling. James Harden can't even make a bunny at the rim.
All right, Chris Paul
Chris Paul
decides in the last 30 seconds of this game that he wants to
that he
ball
wants
hard.
to take hero shots.
He's like, hero ball time.
Oh, man.
A little huggy hug.
Chris Paul and Katie exchanging some words. Katie doesn't want to hear it.
Chris Paul just slapped the ball out of his hand after the whistle.
Katie's in a championship MVP mode.
He's in playoff mode.
Yeah.
What?
Chris Paul
That
doing
was-
another one of those stupid
How are you
things
gonna do a
after the
dirty move
whistle.
like that and then immediately
Be
apologize?
like, that was my bad. No, you did that on purpose.
Yes, I'm 100% with Katie on that one. With the,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
You lost.
It's
That signing of Chris Paul looks.
jeez.
Oh, did you see all the sweat that just dripped off of his
Yeah.
like goatee?
Ew. I wasn't looking at his goatee, so no.
He needed to go to the James Harden School of
It's interesting though
beard
because
care.
it looks like usually KD's goatee is like to a point, it's out, and I hate it, and it looks gross. It
very,
looks like
like,
it just like someone just chopped it,
very
like right
villainous.
here, because it's very square, and
So-
very straight. It's
so
not
we've got
shaped.
we got a fun final question from Wilbur 7000. Who's all of our favorite teams and favorite players?
You want to start?
So I follow the Sixers closest because they're the most intriguing storyline. But I actually grew up and still claim to be a Heat fan. Favorite all-time player? Definitely Shaq. Current? Got to go Joel Embiid.
Okay. My favorite team is the Dallas, or are the Dallas Mavericks, is are whatever. And my favorite player of all time is Dirk Nowitzki, Jersey up there. Yes, I was very, very sad for about a week and a half when he announced his retirement. And every time I bring it up, I'm still not over it. But anyway,
Because you remember your current favorite player who is...
are we doing current? Okay, my current favorite player. It's actually not Luca.
Oh.
My current favorite player is Kyrie Irving. So
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Headband Kyrie?
headband Kyrie,
Headband
untucked
Kyrie.
Kyrie,
Todd Kyrie.
flat Earth
Flat Earth
Kyrie,
Kyrie.
all the Kyrie versions that he is. I love him. So
Very good. Oh, there we go.
Damn.
We finally decided to hit a three.
now we're taking threes at the
Yes,
final
with 4
second.
seconds left to go.
Literally, this is
way to fire up the
This is
offense there,
upsetting
Houston.
because all of a sudden Houston's playing aggressively with 2.2
Houston's like,
seconds
wait,
left
wait.
on the clock.
The game's almost over?
Don't understand. They're trying to save
Oh,
face. Someone
yes,
put money on it.
D'Antoni.
What's the spread for this game?
Somebody needs to like CGI the mustache on
Back on.
D'Antoni.
Who's your favorite team player? current,
Favorite team is
past?
the Timberwolves because I grew up in
He's
Minnesota.
a tortured Timberwolves
So the
Still
basketball
in mourning.
boneyards of Minnesota, and Kevin Garnett is my favorite player of all time because he's
Love
a
it.
gem.
Love it.
My favorite current player is Giannis because I will watch him do anything,
Anything.
and it's going to be great.
Even shill Hulu has live sports commercials.
I watched it multiple times tonight.
It's great. 3 seconds left. I don't know why anyone's taking a timeout here. It seems
Last second adjustments.
stupid. I mean, it is.
You never know. Houston hits that shot.
Seems like a waste of time.
you get a 3. Got ourselves a 1-point game.
Yeah, it is a 4-point game. There's
0.6
there's a
seconds
whole
left.
2 seconds left in this game, and yeah.
Well,
Little
I mean,
March Madness
we did
in
see,
April.
We did see Popovich having to like beg his players to foul.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was
so.
That was upsetting to me.
the Spurs not knowing how to do something is like what? It's like an out of body experience.
That was deeply upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Watching Popovich have to beg his players, and then they just
Then and they just
like
did.
they didn't foul. Like the clock ran out.
And then Popovich was like, you know what? I'm going to sign a 4-year contract to stay here for 4 more years.
Well, he's not a
You're
quitter.
stuck with me.
And if Popovich is nothing if not able to read the tea leaves, and I think he sees that. I know it might not happen, but if the Warriors break up in the West,
There's an
we've
opening.
got a different ball game here.
Because Houston's
And
not taking over.
Houston's not taking over. Popovich is right back to the top there
Mm-hmm.
because he's competing against LeBron, and then all of a sudden we're in a year like I would very
You've
much
got a-
sign for Popovich versus LeBron at the top of the West.
Yeah,
That's
you've got a good
incredible.
team. You've got LaMarcus and DeMar, like, and some young guys on that team that are
Deontay Murray.
nice to build around.
I don't know what the cap situation is, but
I'm sure they have all the money in the world. It's San Antonio
they'd
Spurs.
probably be able to
They're
go out
not
and
big
get somebody.
spenders. Yeah. Wilbur 7000 also asks who our favorite Golden State Warriors player is.
KD.
That's tough.
Well, while he's marinating, Klay Thompson. Through and through, Klay Thompson is my favorite Warriors player. I love everything about Klay. Him and his dog, his on-court ability. He's great.
Honestly, I'm gonna go Iguodala. Like, I think
He's a
he's
good pick.
such
Because he
an
used to play for the 76ers.
Well, he's a good pick
the
too.
case. Well, is the case, but that's not
Exactly.
why. He's just such an underrated part of this team.
Yeah.
Like, he pretty much reinvented his career as like, and just kind of accepted, okay, I'm not going to be a star, but I'm going to contribute to a great team in a really impactful way.
Yeah. Abdul asks, Warriors going to sweep the Rockets? You know, it's looking like they might.
I don't
That is
think
not
so,
a completely
because-
unrealistic take.
No.
It's still super close. Obviously, it depends on some of these injury things like Harden's eyeball, but The Hornets were close enough for me to think that they'll pull away at least one of these games, but it's looking like Warriors in 5.
Well, we will have to see. The next game is on Saturday of this series. Final score 115-109. Golden State takes the 2-0 lead over Houston. Hopefully, James Harden can figure out what the hell is going on with his eyeball, and the rest of his team will show up.
Maybe.
Any other closing thoughts you guys have about this lovely, drawn-out game?
It was a late one.
It was a late one for us here in Chicago. Thank you for all those who tuned in and watched. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to Twitch, follow us on Twitter, like us, follow the 3 of us on Twitter. Josh David Hill, Josh David Wilson.
That's right.
It's very unsettling. I'm Jasmyn Wimbish. Thank you for watching. Good night.